Oh, it's a Monday. Love it. Yes. I don't mind Mondays. Mondays is a time for us to gather, regroup, chat, catch up. Loving Mondays. Loving it. Always good to chat here on a Monday. So I'm giddy. I'm excited for the Monday today. Even though Mondays aren't usually the premier, day of the week, because nobody looks forward to a Monday normally. I do, only for the fact that you and I get a chance to debrief from what our weekend was. But Mondays are good for me, man. I'm enjoying a Monday so far. Had a good day. Got up and took Kristen's car. She had some things done to her car this morning, her new car. So had her. She got 22-inch rims on this thing. She's pimping it, man. And so apparently, when you got rims that big, you got to get them balanced up to like 80 miles an hour, I guess, which I didn't know, but you do. So we went and got the tire. I took her car and got the tires balanced all good this morning, and everything was good to go. And so I got all that taken care of and done. So I'm excited and happy about that. Got that done for her. So I did my good deed for the day. Came home, got a lot of work done. We're getting ready for the big weekend that is, because we will leave on Friday. We head for Sturgis, South Dakota, that we're going to be at, which I'm excited about. So obviously looking forward to that, but more so than anything, coming up on Thursday, we're going to be at the Wisconsin State Fair. Everything on a steak. Hell yeah. Going to be out at the State Fair starting on Thursday and Friday. Kicking off the fair, we're hoping to talk to Sue Black, if she's going to come by, the executive director. And we're going to have some fun out there at the fair and bring you some food and sporkies and drinks and all that kind of good stuff. So I'm excited about that. Brewers stubbed their toe a little bit over the weekend. I think we all know that. Couple of, I think, reminders that every now and then you could probably use that experienced bat coming off the bench. That was that little, hey, it's still a need. Just because we're winning doesn't mean we don't need guys. Yeah, you might still want to have that. So I had that over the weekend. Packers at the training camp over the weekend. Today, a padded practice. We're excited about that. Mike Clemens is going to join us coming up here at the bottom of the hour. Went to German Fest and did all the, oh my God, German Fest was so much fun on Friday night. Friday night, went to German Fest, hung out there. And in doing so, we had, let's see here. I've never had I don't know what it's called, the Spanfarkel or whatever the hell it is, where they pound out chicken and pork and they mash it into this almost like a tire patch, and then they put crumbs on it, and then they fry it, and then they cook it. And my God, this stuff was fantastic. Oh, it was so good. And then the cold German potato salad, and then the gourmet pretzels, the stuffed gourmet pretzels. I know it wasn't great for the diet. I get it. I understand it. For those of you that are shouting at your radio right now, I get it. But I got the stuffed pepper jack jalapeno cheese pretzel with a beverage, ice cold. Oh God, that was like a little slice of heaven. I haven't had one of those things in forever, but I did. So did that, went out on the boat. And I took Kristen and her kids out on the boat on Saturday and went up to Lake Winnebago, and they did tubing. And then we went over to the sandbar and we just hung out there and splashed around. And then after that, went over to the, I think it's the Fox River. Wolf River Brewery, and went there for lunch and just docked and had a great time. As a matter of fact, that's when I got a text from Grant with his feet up on his boat and a cigar that he was imbibing with at that point in time. So sharing a few pictures back and forth. And then after that, came home, went to a end of season baseball celebration yesterday in the afternoon. But more so than anything, just starting to pack the RV with stuff. Took everything up to the dry cleaners and getting clothes back. And you're thinking of all the little things, that you need in the house that you're going to live in for a week. Things like not only your clothes, but, a small grill. And then you go and get your, oh my goodness, somebody's calling. Then you go and get your, those little canisters for propane. You get the propane canisters and, all that kind of stuff. And you're getting everything for grilling outside. The fire pit is in there. Some firewood is in there. Some Duraflame logs are in there. I went and got a new chair one of those fold-out chairs. We got 4 or 5 people that are going to be hanging out with us. So I opened up one of the chairs, and the mice had gotten to it out in the old shed. So I had to throw that out and go get a couple of new chairs. So just knick-knack stuff like that. It was a peaceful, somewhat relaxing, fun, enjoyable weekend, except for when I was watching Brewers baseball on Friday and Saturday. Now, yesterday, my boy Blake Perkins, he ends up not only coming in, playing a good game, getting that, stealing a base, getting in position to bring in the tying run, but then drives in the winning run in the late in the ballgame, the bottom of the ninth. So I was excited about all of that. And then, strangely, both he and Pat Murphy get a little emotional after the game. Blake Perkins talking to Sophia Minard gets a little emotional, gets a big hug from Murph. You know, Murph gets emotional about him. They got a bond there, man. They got a bond. So we're going to talk about all of that and hear a lot from the Packers over the weekend inside Packers locker room. You want to get a hold of us, 877-867-1670. You want to text us, 608-321-1670 on this fabulous Monday. Sun is out, hot, sticky. I love it. Go to youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show to watch the program. And by the way, you can also watch us not only today, you can watch us live from the Wisconsin State Fair coming up on Thursday and Friday. And then next week, Monday and Tuesday, live with the Bear Butte Mountain in the background, the Pappy Hoyle Campground in the background, and Full Throttle Saloon all below me in the background next week. Can't wait. Looking forward to it. It's going to be spectacular. Trust me. Fun stuff. Let's do this. Grant Bills, how are you doing? I heard, correct me if I'm wrong, did somebody not fill up the gas tank on the boat, or is that just
yeah, we did run out of gas. We came up a little bit short on our ride back to the dock, but a nice couple in a pontoon gave us a nice tow home. We looked clearly in distress. It was a boat overloaded with 5 large men with poor balance, and I was on the bow with an oar. Gotcha. Like if there was ever a boat, you go and check on them. It was our boat, so they pulled us the last little bit of the way.
How big of a boat was it that you were on that, you know, nobody decided to check the actual petro that was in the tank?
Well, let's keep in mind that there was only one captain of the boat. So when you say nobody checked, it was technically there is someone with that responsibility. I don't know how many feet, 15, maybe. Two people could sit in the bow, and then 2 captain's chairs, and then the back. Yeah. There's no seating in the back, but we had a little like a little classroom chair that fits right in the, up against the engine. It's not perfect, but for us, it was great. Gotcha. It was excellent.
Okay.
And I always do send you, anytime I smoke a cigar, I send you a picture because I don't know what's going on with the cigar, but I'm like, oh, Bill will know what this is or
I'll appreciate that. Yeah.
And then you could see my walking boot, which was like on the rail of the boat in the background of the picture.
Yeah. The field goal kicking apparatus. Yeah.
little bit of a funny image. Yeah. But it was good. Hayward is excellent. It was hot as balls. Holy cats. It was hot. So tried to stay in the water a little bit, but yesterday the heat did not help the hangover yesterday. Let's just put it that way.
I did not get hungover this weekend. I only probably the entire weekend, I think I had 2 beers. That was it.
That's pretty good.
I really didn't imbibe a lot. I tell you this, and I mentioned this last week, I think, but I don't know what day it was. I slept and I cramped up overnight. Remember when I was telling that on the air that I was cramping up overnight where my legs, like the front of my shins were cramping up. And I'm like, I must have got dehydrated. So I went and bought the adult version of Pedialyte on, I don't know, was it Thursday, Friday, something like that. And I've been swilling that all weekend. Water and Pedialyte, and finally on Saturday, I think was the last day that I really had any kind of cramps, and it was terrible. I think my body was so dehydrated, and I get don't forget I get the kidney stones relatively easy, and if you get dehydrated, that begins the creation of a crustacean of the calcification, I should say, of kidney stones. So I've got to be careful with that kind of stuff because that's the last thing I want. But I drank Pedialyte over the weekend, and it's kind of like fruity medicine.
It's like salt water. I had a bottle of Pedialyte yesterday. I got it from our friends at Quick Trip up in Rice Lake. Stopped and got a big old bottle. Not the adult version, just the normal, the straight Pedialyte. Yeah.
No, I went over the bottle where you bought that adult fruit punch version.
The foil lid that you got to rip off.
Yep. Yeah. It's got foil on it. That's true. But yeah, it was kind of like, But I did that all weekend. So that was it. And Pedialyte's better than Gatorade and Powerade. Powerade's better than Gatorade, and Gatorade is, more commercial. Gatorade is like the Nike of drinks. It's okay. Well, whatever. Tastes okay.
You're paying for the label, I think, a little bit there, probably.
Name. Right. It's it's like it's like Nike shoes. They're really not good for you. If you've ever talked to any kind of an orthopedist, they're really not good for you. Nike is the one of the worst you can ever buy.
They're skinny. They're slim.
That too. And then you kind of go from there. But yeah, I went to the Pedialyte, and then now tell me this: for a hangover, did Pedialyte do it for you?
So I wasn't super hungover. I honestly, the worst I felt yesterday was last night when I got home, just because I think I was so tired. Pedialyte normally helps, though. It's the best thing to do is drink it if you're going out for the day, like going to Summerfest. Drink it in the morning before you go do the thing. Anytime you're drinking sports drinks after the fact, you're just playing catch up. You can only help yourself so much at that point.
Because they always say for hangovers, it's Liquid IV and Pedialyte. So that's, those are the two elixirs to getting rid of the hangover headache.
It's funny, in college, it was 2 Quick Trip stuffed breadsticks and a bottle of chocolate milk. It's funny how what our body needed. We really evolved throughout our years. Yeah. We need different things as the years go by.
I learned years and years ago, chocolate milk, man, that was the way to go when it came to getting rid of the hangover. You could do the chocolate. People don't realize it. Chocolate milk's got some kind of, I don't know what it is. But kudos to the dairy farmers for figuring it out at some point and saying, oh, by the way, you might want to do this, because that's what I did in college was chocolate milk, man. Go over and get the chocolate milk, and not the quick chocolate milk. You give, I don't know, whatever it is. There's like it's not a Fairlife, because Fairlife wasn't around back then. There's some other chocolate milk, whatever it was.
Like True Moo? You anti-True Moo? You don't like True Moo?
Yeah. Something like that. I don't know what it is.
I just like the Quick Trip brand.
Yeah, Chuck says, wow, the prediction you gave the kid on Friday did not turn out very well. Can you believe they lost 2 out of 3 to the Marlins?
The Marlins have been hot, and the Brewers played probably like when the Brewers struggle, that's what it looks like. So
not key hits. It just they looked like they were mystified at the plate.
No home runs
Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
Just mystified. Let me say this, because people are saying, well, my God, you blew it. Did anybody see them losing 2 out of 3 to the Marlins? Raise your hand. I love it when people after the fact say, oh, boy, I tell you what, you blew that. Did you think any different? When they're just rolling coming into the Marlins series, knowing that on the horizon, here come the Chicago Cubs, you have a chance to put your kind of stamp on this whole thing. Did anybody see this coming? Because I didn't, because I thought they were past this. I thought this was a team that now they'll beat the teams they should beat and hopefully break even or a little bit better than that with the teams they probably are competitive with. And it's baseball, man. Marlins came in and basically shut them down. And boy, I tell you what, how many more times are we going to see Joey Ortiz get pinch hit for in the latter portion of a game? I think about it. I mean, now it's to the point where when he comes up in any kind of a situation in which they're going to need a hit, he's not going to be the guy at the plate. Unbelievable in the field, but they have come to the determination that Murph has, like, this guy can't be trusted at the plate. And it showed.
Durbin, they only trust him against lefties, not righties. Yep. So there's a lot of opportunities. If we talk about trade acquisitions, in the deadline this week, and Brewers say, well, where are they going to play? Right. The Brewers are showing you where there are opportunities to play in relief of Joey Ortiz or Caleb Durbin in certain matchups.
Yep. And Siegler, it was so interesting. I want to say, I don't know if I was listening to Levering or watching Brian Anderson. I don't know. But the conversation, because I was both on Friday, I mean, it was a Friday. Anyway, long story short. So they're like, look, Siegler comes up. He's had opportunities. But, dude, as a guy coming off the bench, you have got to put good at-bats together. And you've got to be a guy that's experienced enough to say, look, I can come off the bench because I'm not going to get a lot of opportunities. So I'm coming off the bench, and I got to make the most of it. He watches strike 3 right down the middle to end the game the other night. And then again in the same situation the other day. They bring him in, pinch hit, strike 3, right down Broadway. You're not gonna stay in the bigs. What doing that? When you're called upon and you can't take the bat off your shoulder. This is the reason we talk about a veteran bat, because you got to get a veteran who maybe has seen this guy before or understands the scouting situation, what's about to be thrown at him, and knows what to look for. bringing these guys up that are hitting in the minors that maybe they're going to get an opportunity or two to really kind of shine in the bigs. I don't know. That's the reason Sigler did it twice over the weekend. So this is the reason I still think they're going to go out and find themselves a bat. And at this point in time, wherever they got to go is where they go. Wherever they got to go.
Third base.
Yeah.
It could be shortstop. There's room in the outfield. And look, there's not like he will play every day for the rest of the season and completely kick Durbin or Ortiz or whoever off the team. I don't think that's what we're talking about. But again, for Brewers fans who are like, well, who are you going to acquire? Who are you going to take out of the lineup? The Brewers are telling you Durbin's not an everyday player. Ortiz is not a full game everyday player. Those are your opportunities. The Brewers are quite literally showing you, and I know we got to get to Mike Clemens coming up next, but like the Brewers are showing you where those guys could play. There's opportunities throughout. So
is Mike next to the bottom of the hour?
So Mike's going to join us next segment and then one more segment at 10:35.
Oh my God.
So he's been switching up his schedule.
Holy crap. Let's get to Mike then. Because, let's do that. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. You know why? Because we go live. Live to Green Bay. We're going to go live and do some, We're going to do some Packer chatter when we come back. And we'll talk more about the trade deadline coming up in the next hour. But we're going to talk a little Mike Clemens Packers coverage when we return. A reminder, we're going to be live at the Wisconsin State Fair coming up on Thursday. Can't wait. Looking forward to it. Don't forget also, Mike Clemens is going to be joining us on the Schneider Orange Hotline. Go to SchneiderJobs.com, SchneiderJobs.com. If you're looking for a drive, if you're looking to get trained, if you're looking for a place in your area, over the road, staying at home, whatever it happens to be, that is Schneider. Go to SchneiderJobs.com or call them 800-44-PRIDE, SchneiderJobs.com or call them 800-44-PRIDE. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up with Mike Clemens next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
For windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella Experience.
The biggest thing for us in the Experience Center was the collaboration with the team. We were able to come in and sit down and go over a bunch of different options. And it wasn't just us dictating what we wanted.
They asked us things we didn't even know or think about, from colors to hardware. And because of that, we were able to get the best possible look for our home.
Hi, I'm Gina Della from Pella. Just like Jim and Haley, you too can see, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of window and door options from 7 different Pella lines, side by side, at our Pella Experience Center in Brookfield. And today is a great day to stop by because right now you can get 0% interest for up to 5 years. The Pella Experience Center is on Blue Mountain Road, kitty corner to delicious cups. With a range of affordable options and products assembled in the USA, get the look you want at a price you can afford. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Ted Thompson, most of you know, often talked about Aaron that he'd say he's a complicated fella.
Here on Sports Center, the Green Bay Packers have fired head coach Mike McCarthy, ending 13 seasons with the Pack, where he did win a Super Bowl. Packers CEO Mark Murphy said the 2018 season has not lived up to the expectations.
We did not play well. To lose to a 2-9 team at home, a team from Arizona in a dome, that was not a good performance. In my mind, it made clear that we needed to make a change. Since I've been a boss, really, as AD at Colgate and Northwestern, and then now here, fire quickly, hire slowly. So take your time, when you're hiring people.
The words of Mark Murphy. As he steps aside, his tenure has now come to an end in Green Bay. Mike Clemens is going to join us on the hotline, and Mike is brought to you by, all the time, our friends at the Bay Motel in Green Bay. BayMotelGreenBay.com, by the way. Quiet, cozy, comfortable, perfect for the family stay. And, oh, by the way, they've got home-style cooking in the Bay Family Restaurant right next door, just a mile from Lambeau Field. Home-style cooking 7 days a week. 7 days a week, my friends. All you got to do is call directly 920-494-3441, 920-494-3441. That is the Bay Motel GreenBay.com. That is Bay Motel GreenBay.com. We now go live, as they say, to Green Bay. Mike Clemens standing by. Michael, how you doing, pal?
Good, Bill.
So Mark Murphy, a very gracious goodbye, huh?
Well, think about this. I hear a little echo. I think about this. When this guy took over, he had to replace Bob Harlan, and this state loved Bob Harlan, right? And he had such a way to connect with people, and he, rebuilt the franchise and the Favre era and winning a Super Bowl and then building onto the stadium. And you thought, that's going to be a tough act to follow. And Mark Murphy is greeted in the job with the summer of 2008 and the fallout with Favre, and then they end up trading him to the Jets. And then there's other things down the road. I mean, you've got contract holdouts. Then you've got to fire Mike McCarthy, like you heard there. Then he decides to restructure the office. After Ted Thompson steps down, no longer is the general manager going to decide who the next head coach is. The president and CEO is going to make that decision. Right. And he takes that on himself. And so there's all kinds of changes along the way. So when you get to the point where he's on that stage in April and announcing that Matthew Golden was going to be the first round pick, I mean, it was such a drop the mic moment for this guy, right?
Right.
And I thought of this when I thought of Goodikins saying, we've been through some situations here in Green Bay, and this guy has been, quiet, steady leadership through all of it. So that's what's pretty amazing about it. And one of the things that I got to ask Mark Friday night, because now he's off the clock, right?
Right.
There was this period, Bill, in 2019. Okay, you just fired McCarthy. Well, you got to pay McCarthy like $9 million the next year, and all the other coaches. Aaron Rodgers had a contract coming up. So they had a huge hit to their budgets in both coaches' expenses, player contracts, other things. Plus, the economy started to soften up a little bit, and that was followed by the pandemic.
Right.
Empty stadiums, for a year and a half. And so their numbers went way down. Then you look at Friday afternoon's report, where when Mark Murphy took over, the paycheck he got from the NFL and revenue sharing was $138 million his first year. It's over $430 million this week.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone up 4 times. And that's the league. I asked him, I said, how did you turn this around? I said, how scary was 2019? He says, it was. There were some tense moments there. For a couple of years. How did they turn it around? Guess what? The networks are paying for it.
Yeah.
Fox, ABC, Disney, NBC Sunday night, now Amazon. And he said, you're going to see more football overseas. You're going to see 18 games, which will let them take that away. And so then I said to him, and he also revealed in the Packers marketing research, when they look at overseas, they play that game in Brazil. They had one in London. But the 2 areas where people in Europe are the most interested in Green Bay Packer football are the countries of Germany and Ireland. So I said, Mark, I still don't grasp or understand why the money that you lose giving up a game in the United States on game day from all the hotels, your revenue, tickets, advertisers and all that, to an 8 a.m. Sunday morning, And I said, what's the advantage of playing games in Dublin or Ireland or Berlin, Germany someday?
Right.
Well, it's a long-term play, right? It's not going to be immediate. For the league, you're going to see the benefits of this will be much clearer 5-10 years down the road, but you're building a fan base. I think we mentioned, it was in the presentation this year. I think there's 7 international games, and, going forward, that's going to increase dramatically. A lot is up in the air, though, not quite honestly, with what's going on with the Players Association, kind of change in leadership. But at some point in the future, I would anticipate that we will go to 18 regular season games and 2, and that would give you a little more flexibility to play international games. But so the benefits are growing the game internationally in terms of television ratings, but then also attendance. The attendance at the games, the international games have been tremendous.
Mike, I'm not a big fan of the international stuff, as everybody knows, because I've preached about that time and again. The biggest thing to me is right here back in our home state, and that is getting, and Ed Policy kind of alluded to it with a little bit of backlash, to making sure that everything is secure, not only here in the States, but also secure in Green Bay, that they get that lease done, that everything gets done to where that team is going to remain there as a viable part of the Green Bay Packers, Green Bay being attached to that for a long, long time to come.
Well, I'm not a fan of it either, Bill, but the fact of the matter is the NFL, with the record numbers they've had at Super Bowls the last couple of years in terms of viewership, and it's all about viewership and then selling sponsorships, that's probably saturated. So they want to reach into other countries. And think about how much more interest there seems to be in the Premier Soccer League in this country, right?
Right.
Or even something within the domestic 48, like the WNBA. I mean, there's these other things that they're competing against, and so that's why they feel they've got to reach overseas. So Ed Policy is the new guy, 54 years old. If he works at this job as long as Mark Murphy till he's 70, he'd have about the same length of a run. And so when we got to interview him for your show about a month ago, and I asked Ed, what are the top 3 things now when you take over for Mark that you want to do? And he said, win games. In other words, and let's get to a Super Bowl. Number 2, keep serving the community, like the tailgate tour, like you saw, handing out big checks and helping out agencies. And number 3, keeping the franchise in Green Bay. And everybody that is a shareholder, there were 6,300 shareholders there in the hot sun the other day. They went, what? Right. What do you mean leaving Green Bay? And as I told you, you know what? I think that's got to do with the lease situation. There was that story that they're trying to get the lease renewed for Lambeau Field, and the city, they ended up just tabling it. But they've got a deal that goes through like 2033. So I asked Mark Murphy about that.
How big of a priority will it be for Ed for a stadium lease?
Oh, it's a big priority. Yeah. Yeah, I actually had good breakfast the other day with the mayor, and presented me with a key of the city, which was very nice. Yeah. But yeah, that's, I think it's a priority, should be for the city and Ed, and hopefully they can come together on it. I think there's quite a few years left on the lease, but
33 or something.
Yeah. But, it's important, and it would be good to have that secured for the future.
Yeah, you'd like to get it all the way through at least like 2050, something to that effect. But Mike, speaking of ed policy, obviously the incumbent, and at what point, I guess, when ed policy, who had been working behind the scenes for a long time and seen the inner workings of, the Green Bay Packers as the Packers team and corporation, at what point did it become apparent that Ed was going to be the guy?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's something I asked Mark because, at the end of the day, Packer fans want to see their team get to a Super Bowl. So what is the president and CEO? What has he done? Well, he hires a Brian Gutekunst. He hires a good coach in Matt LaFleur. He makes a change, because he thought that McCarthy's era was getting stale. You got to make revenue in order to compete with the billionaires like Jerry Jones and the others around the league. At the same time, you've got to be a hero. In a world, people look to the Packers for something functional. Other than what's going on in business or government. And are you a good community leader? We look for that because you have that opportunity because we love this sport so much. And so, you got to find a good community leader. Now, Ed has, stayed in the shadows of this whole thing. Will he become that kind of a leader? And so I talked to Murphy about, is one of the most important things you've done over these last 17 years is who do you hire? And when did you know that ed policy was going to be the guy?
Well, I would say for any leader in business, CEO or president, the very most important thing is hiring good people and letting them do their job. And there's two parts of that, hiring the good people, but then also having being able to step out of the way and let people do their job. Yeah, I knew pretty early on that Ed was, he was immediately very helpful, but I knew that, he was very likely to be in a position where he would serve as president. And, to his credit, we went through a legitimate search and, had strong candidates. Both Ed and I have said, I think it's, the best job in the NFL. And so when it opens up, you knew there was a lot of interest in it.
Interesting stuff from Mark Murphy, the outgoing president, talking about the incoming president, ed policy. Mike Clemens joining us on the hotline. Let's do this. We'll step out. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back, and we'll also continue on with Mike Clemens live in Green Bay. Stay tuned. We got a whole lot more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up. Mike brought to you by our friends over there at the Bay Motel Green Bay. That's baymotelgreenbay.com. Don't forget, always quiet, cozy, comfortable, great place to go, whether it's for a family stay or if you just want to go up there and catch a game, you want to go up there for a weekend and just go to the Hall of Fame or just kick around Green Bay, whatever it happens to be. Go to baymotelgreenbay.com. That is baymotelgreenbay.com. Call them 920-494-3441. More with our guy Mike Clemens on the ground in Green Bay coming up next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Becoming a truck driver doesn't have to be complicated. At Schneider, we make it easy to get your commercial driver's license and start your new career. With our CDL apprenticeship training, you'll get paid to become a truck driver in just 5 to 6 weeks and have a Schneider driving job waiting for you when you've completed the program. Plus, during training, Schneider will provide transportation, lodging, and meals at no cost to you. Ready to get your career on the road? Learn more and apply today at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
So as you get into padded practices, to me, I would think one of the drills that you're looking forward to is individuals with linemen.
Yeah, I mean, now we're talking about real football. These guys are still in their underwear out there.
Will you do any of those like late period of practice live stuff like you've done in the past?
Maybe. Do you want to see it?
Sure.
I would count it. We're definitely going to have some tackle periods. Who knows? Depends how salty I am that day.
Welcome in, Salty, Matt LaFleur, talking to the media, and they're going to do a few hitting practices. They got a padded practice today as we sit here and speak. Mike Clemens joining us on the hotline, and brought to you by our friends at the Bay Motel Green Bay. Call them baymotelgreenbay.com. That's, again, baymotelgreenbay.com. You can find them 920-494-3441. Mike Clemens back with us. And Mike, the number one thing that everybody wants to know is how good they're going to be and what the record is. And I keep saying it doesn't mean a hill of beans of who they have acquired if Jordan Love doesn't take his game to another level. So what you've seen offensively early on, give me your thoughts as to his connection with the wide receivers and how he's kind of handled himself.
Well, like I talked about on Friday, you're seeing some great flashes from the rookie, Matthew Golden. Cole Hardman is wearing number 6, the former Chief and Jets player. Mm-hmm. You see him streaking down the field. But there's some. Yesterday was a pick, and it's Jordan Love throwing into the middle of the field or into triple coverage, and Tyron Hopper, the linebacker, picks it off. He was trying to hit Luke Musgrave, and we just talked to LaFleur about that. Yeah, bad decision. But on the other hand, quarterback, it's practice, and the quarterback says, "I'm not going to run to the sideline. Let's take a shot. Let's see, let's see if I can pull a rabbit out of a hat here." And so those kinds of things happen. But overall, the idea is, how can you win back this division that you went 1-5 in? Your first test is going to be against Detroit. And are there times where just when you play the Lions or the Eagles, are they just a bigger, more physical team than yours? Is it all execution? And, I can go on to that. That's a 2-hour lecture.
Right.
But in the meantime, to me, Bill, you know how good Josh Jacobs can be in the run game. What has to take the next level step up is Dontavian Wicks and Jaden Reed and Romeo Doubs, the receivers. And so we talked to Doubs, who, last year had 2 concussions, skipped out of the LA, Rams game, got suspended, those kinds of things. Now he seems to come back in his 4th year, a contract year, a kid out of, central LA, rough area, played in Nevada, 4th-round pick, and he's this hard-nosed, hard-working, possession-type receiver. And we asked him, how do you think offense looks so far in this training camp?
I think this offense, we're doing great. Obviously, this is the dog days of camp right now. It's been a great first 4 days or whatnot. But, there's always progress within this. Just continuously getting an understanding of this offense, getting through installs, run installs, whatever the case may be. I think we're at a great spot right now.
This is year 4 for you. I guess, do you have goals that you set for yourself? Or
I'm going to be real with you. I have no goals going into this year. I think this league is a day-to-day league, and there is a process within that. So that is my main focus right now.
How do you handle the competition in the wide receiver room?
I just do my part. Obviously, just competing with the guys, but also understanding where I am, just being in the system. And I know I'm in year 4, and just making sure that we all just continuously just get better from asking questions. That can be on the field running, that can be a walkthrough, that can be in a meeting room. So I think just collectively as one, that is our focus right now. Besides just competing with each other.
Mike, I love the fact that he says we're in the dog days of camp. If they think this is the dog days of camp, they have not watched any film from years gone by from some of the veterans who used to do 2-a-days and such. You're 4 days into camp and it's the dog days. But which, hey.
Right, but you know what? It's been hot here.
Yeah.
It's been hot.
Well, that's true. That's true. I'll give you that. The other guy, the wide receiver, Dontavian Wicks, obviously early on, it was crazy when he had one pass that bounced off his hands and everybody was tweeting and texting about it and saying, here we go. How has Dontavian Wicks looked overall? Because I haven't heard his name, which is a good thing, ever since.
Yeah, okay. Overall, Bill, a year ago at this time, these guys came in as the Cinderella team that just rolled over the Cowboys and were 6 minutes away from beating the 49ers. This year, it's a team that I think they still feel a little humbled. And they know that they got a mountain to climb within their own division. And so there's less worrying about, secret handshakes on the practice field and dancing, and more like running to your coach and getting corrections made.
Yeah.
And, one of the worst plays I saw was Dontavian Wicks do it down and out, and the coverage was there. The corner anticipated where it was going. And then Jordan threw the ball into the ground, and it's practice, but you're like, wow, man, where's the progress there? So Wicks at times has been brilliant, and then he had sort of a sophomore slump last season, and we talked to Dontavian Wicks out of Virginia about that.
We all know I had a few drops. The whole media know that, so I think that that's one thing I wanted to focus on this summer, getting around the ball more, because in practice, you might not get that many opportunities. So just standing around the ball a lot, having the QB out there when I'm doing training, to throw me the ball, and having them drills that make you adjust to different passes. And, when running through the ball, having the QB being able to lead you in spots that only QBs can do.
It's good. I keep going back to James Jones, who had some of the similar issues early on in his career. And it was a call from his high school coach that said, what we taught you in high school is the same today. You can't run without the football. You got to catch it first. And then he became a pretty good wide receiver when he was having issues.
Right. And so at the end of the day, even if you're playing some teams that might have a few better athletes than yours, there's still a way to win in the NFL, particularly the way the rules are set up, is if you out-execute people.
Right.
So I don't know if these guys can get any bigger or any faster in their third year or fourth year in the NFL. So they just have to figure out ways to get better. So that was one of the questions, because I'm trying to get away from that rah-rah crap.
Right.
From these players, or how do you feel? I'm just trying to get to prove to me what you think, how you think you could get any better than what you've done the last 2 years. So I went to Jaden Reed, who I've always respected. This is a smart kid. And I said, tell me what you've done in the off season to get better. Tell me how you got to such a fast start in your rookie season in your first NFL training camp.
Honestly, man, just going back to the hotel and walking through the plays in my hotel room. That's what helped me, honestly. It was the same standard for us. We wasn't no time to try to catch up or anything. It's time to get going. So,
is there anything that you set out to do this offseason that makes you a better player, whether it's health? It's how you study. Because after doing this for 2 years, it's like, man, I wasted so much time my rookie season worrying about that. Because this over here is more important.
I bought a jugs machine. I don't know if that helps, but it might. That's one thing I did that's different. I stick to the plan, man. I'm kind of superstitious, so I do a lot of things the same.
Who feeds the jugs for you?
One of my buddies that live down there, or Wicks, or it can be my girl sometimes. It don't matter. Yeah.
Where were you working out with them?
I was down in South Florida working out. Yep.
Interesting that he just wanted to be better. And he actually put his money literally where his mouth was by buying a jugs machine, Mike, which kudos to him. All these guys recognizing that things have got to get better in a lot of different areas. And you're right. And talking to the young guys, we've heard enough about them being the youngest team in football and that being the excuse. And even Brian Gutekunst said, I'm tired of hearing it. Now you go to the veteran side of things. You talk to guys like a Jordan Love, who's in his, 7th, 8th year now, when you think about early on, or 6th year now. But then you got a guy like Xavier McKinney, who's the leader on the opposite side of the football, who's leading that defense. And now it's back to, hey, by the way, you're the veteran. You're the guy that's there to elevate players. Certainly he played extremely well last year. So, it's interesting to listen to the young guys talk about trying to get better, where you got a guy like Xavier McKinney, when you talk about how they're getting better behind the walls that we don't get a chance to see on the daily.
Yeah, another one of those stories, or maybe / excuses, is, it's year 2 of Jeff Hafley's defense. It will be better. And I would submit that Vic Fangio walked into Philadelphia last year and ran it to a Super Bowl.
Yep.
And you drafted Cooper DeJean at corner, and you picked up Zach Vaughn from Brown Deer, Wisconsin, to play middle linebacker.
100%.
And these guys are making pick sixes. So I said to Xavier, who is straightforward, man, I said, how would you describe your defensive meetings with the defense right now here in this training camp?
We locked in, man. I know, personally for me, I got one goal on my mind, and that's to win the championship. So, in order to get that done, obviously you got to win the division. So I think that's extremely important for me. That's extremely important for our team as a whole. And I think everybody understands that collectively, not just the team, the staff, everybody understands that. So we just laser focused right now. Day by day, we're going to continue to get better. We're going to continue to do what we need to do on and off the field to be able to, put ourselves in a good position to be able to get that job done.
Mike, you hear them saying a lot of the right things, and you hope it's just not lip service. You know what I mean?
I think I feel it, though. I think it's true.
Okay.
New locker room, some new meeting rooms and stuff like that. But it's the way we're just hanging around them every day, Yeah. And in the locker room and in the training room and all that, there's more serious discussions going on, a little less goofing around,
Mike, great stuff.
I haven't snuck into the team hotel yet. I may do that yet.
Well, if you get in, wear a bellhop's uniform, or, maybe some maid service or something like that. And just, hey, do you need towels? And, oh, by the way, there's
don't give away my secrets.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't give away my secrets, Bill Michael.
Sounds like a modern Fletch sequel with an NFL team. That's what it sounds like.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, tell them you're there for the team physicals. Walk in with a white coat and a stethoscope. You're good to go. Mike, good stuff, buddy. We appreciate it.
Thank you, boys.
There you go. Mike Clemens joining us live in Green Bay at Packers training camp. Going to go ahead and take a quick break, but we got a lot more. We're almost an hour into it, and a whole lot more we're going to hear from inside the Packers locker room all afternoon, all morning and all afternoon. So don't go anywhere. Got a whole lot more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up. Like I said, Mike joined us on the Schneider Orange Hotline. Schneider hiring drivers right now. All you got to do is go to schneiderjobs.com, type in your zip code, and it'll give you opportunities in your area because they are looking for you. 844-PRIDE or go to schneiderjobs.com. That is 844-PRIDE or go to schneiderjobs.com.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome in. 1 hour down that quick. Boom. We got a lot from inside the Packers locker room. We'll get back into some of the odds are out as the Major League Baseball trade deadline coming up Thursday, 5 o'clock Central Time. Josh Naylor and Seth Lugo, they've signed the extensions. It seems like bullpen help is in high demand for some of the top contenders. And betonline.ag came out with some of the players that could be on the move and the Brewers' likelihood or not of getting them. So we'll go through some of that coming up here in a little bit as well. I do want to remind you that we are now fast approaching as we get towards the end of the month and getting into August 31st, Sunday, August 31st. If you ride a motorcycle, if you ride any type of two wheels, we want to have you with us. Now, it's got to be a motorcycle of some type. Got to have an engine on it, right? If you can join us, please do. On Sunday, August 31st, we are going to ride for veterans, for military members and their families in support Big Unit Foundation in Fisher House, Wisconsin. It is our 18th annual Big Unit Poker Run, and we leave the Harley-Davidson Museum that's in Milwaukee on Canal Street, and then we head out to Smoke on the Water. We announced that last week. Smoke on the Water is going to be our first stop. That's in Okauchee, and then from there, we've got a beautiful total of 98 miles, by the way, ride planned for you, ultimately ending back at Suburban Harley-Davidson in Thiensville, where Six Pack Sammy is going to be our music. They're going to provide the post-ride concert. We've got some really cool stuff upcoming as well, and some surprises this year on top of what we've already done, and we can't wait. So please, if you can, go to bigunitfoundation.com. That is bigunitfoundation.com, bigunitfoundation.com, and you can get registered on the motorcycle ride. There's plenty of links there. You can find it. You can also, if you can't ride, you want to make a donation, you can make a donation there as well to the foundation. And it helps through random acts of kindness. Military members, first responders, their families. Also, we expanded it when we made Big Unit Foundation to first responders as well. So don't forget about them. If you can make a donation, you can help us out. That would be a wonderful, wonderful thing. Stay tuned. We got 3 more hours yet to go. Don't go anywhere. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, the Milwaukee Brewers would avoid getting swept by the Marlins as they would erase a 2-1 deficit, scoring each of the final 2 innings, highlighted by Blake Perkins signaling home the winning run in the ninth to beat Miami 3-2 yesterday at American Family Field. Perkins talks on his walk-off hit after missing the first half of the season with injury.
Definitely appreciative of the moment and of the success. You know, it's been a long road, and I don't feel like I'm way behind, but I do feel like this is the middle of the season for a lot of these guys, and I'm kind of coming in late. So it's just great to come through for the guys, and just appreciating these moments a little bit more.
The Brewers and Cubs sit tied atop of the NL Central, a record of 62-43, and it will be a battle of first place starting today at American Family Field as the Brewers host the Cubs. Jacob Mizorowski will take the mound for the Crew opposite of Chicago's Matthew Boyd. First pitch will be at 6:40.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
Get insurance from a company who knows Wisconsin and cares about your community. You may know Rural Mutual Insurance as the #1 farm insurer, but did you know they also offer competitive home and auto rates? Visit ruralmutual.com to learn more about products and discounts.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
We're entering day 5 of Packers training camp, and today they'll put on the pads. Here's more from head coach Matt LaFleur.
Now we're talking about real football. These guys are still in their underwear out there, so you can get a better evaluation when these guys are on full pads and they're allowed to fit up on people, and we're definitely going to have some tackle periods.
Wisconsin football will also hold their first 2 weeks of football training camp at UW-Platteville for the 3rd consecutive season. The Badgers start that up and go all the way till August 10th. For the Wisconsin Sports Zone Network, I'm Ebo.
Welcome, Bill Michaels Show, on this Monday edition. To all of you all throughout the great state of Wisconsin, thanks so much for hanging out with us. We are excited. This week is a big week in so many different facets. 1, obviously we're here on a Monday. 2, Brewers Cubs, man, they start tonight. I can't wait. I got my whole night planned. Can't wait. 3, Wisconsin State Fair starts on Thursday. We're going to be live from inside the Goose Island Ale House at the Bud Pavilion, starting for the fair on Thursday and Friday. So come on by and say hello. We can't wait to see you, for all of you coming in throughout the great state. On Friday, after we get off the air, then we make our way to Sturgis, South Dakota. So we're going to be in South Dakota bright and early Saturday morning, getting all set up, and we got a few things we're going to go do. I think they, if my messages are correct, they're going to put us on the stage quite a bit over the weekend. For many of you riders that are going to be out there, we're going to be at Night Ranger. We're going to be at Hank Williams Jr., Tesla, Disturbed, and then Jackal on Thursday of next week. So we're going to be on doing some stage work out there. A lot of good stuff for the motorcycle ride. And then we're back home, and then we're going to do some training camp stuff. And also don't forget that coming up, what date is that date? We're going to be September 11th, Thursday night, for the Commanders game at Lambeau Field. We are actually going to be in Tomahawk, Wisconsin at Castaways. We're coming to our friends up there at WJJQ and our friends at Castaways, Trish and the gang, the owners over there. We're going to be live from Castaways for the Green and Gold postgame show coming up on Thursday, September 11th. The Green and Gold postgame show for all the home games it's going to be back at Burkle's. Back at Burkle's again this year, Burkle Sports Bar and Grill. We're so appreciative and so thankful and so excited to be back again this year. But, man, can't wait. Can't wait. Good stuff. Cannot wait. Thank you very much. So today, got a lot to talk about. You have got the trade deadline, which is almost upon us, 5 o'clock Central Time coming up on Thursday. You got the Packers in pads today. Brewers and Cubs tonight for the 3-game series. Hell yes. We got a lot of good stuff going on. You want to hit us up? 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. We'll get to some of the text messages coming up here shortly. 608-321-1670. 608-321-1670. You can text us. You want to watch us each and every day? You can do it over on YouTube. Go to youtube.com. That's youtube.com/Bill Michael Show. youtube.com/Bill Michael Show. We are on Twitter, on X, at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels, at Wisco Grant. You can find Grant there. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, the Bill Michaels Show. You can track us down on the Twitch app, the Kick app, the LinkedIn app to watch the program. You want to listen to us, take us anywhere and everywhere. That's the app that's out of our flagship station in Madison, WOZN, The Zone Madison. Just look it up, The Zone Madison. Then you can email us at thebillmichaels@gmail.com. Thebillmichaels.com is the website. After the fact on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Google Podcasts as well, and get all your fixins television-wise in Milwaukee. Go to My24 TV in Milwaukee, 8 o'clock Central Time on Saturday night, My24 TV in Milwaukee, which actually I watched a little bit of this weekend. I'm not really big on listening to myself or watching myself, but I actually watched a little bit. I got home early on Saturday night, and I'm scrolling. I'm like, oh, there's our television show. Okay, I flipped it on. And it was a segment of you and I, Grant. We had all the cheap seats still running in there. All the people over in the cheap seats were scrolling through the TV program as well. So kudos to you as you guys and girls made the screen. That was kind of cool.
Well, so we needed one more segment for the TV show, and I sent it to JFK, who produces it every week and does an awesome job. His name is Josh. It's not the actual. Everyone's in radio's got a nickname. And I sent it to him, and I said, so the chat's on the screen, but I watched it the whole segment. And I'm like, there was nothing that's not suitable for TV. So you can leave it in. I was babysitting. I was watching that ticker the entire 15 minutes we were talking. It was kind of funny.
Perfect. It was fun. It was, speaking of that, yes, Marty, I'll mention this. Speaking of being out there, I don't know if you saw it. For those of you that go to the Brewers game and you want to look north, I've been completely upstaged of any quasi miniature scrutinized celebrity that I have or Grant has or anything. Because did you see the billboard across from American Family Field in front of Miller Brewery?
I did. This is a big win for the Michaels household. Yes.
Kristen has her own billboard. Her bank made her the face of their bank. And she is now, so when you're driving westbound on 94 coming out of downtown Milwaukee and you look towards Miller Brewing, there she is. Just as you start to make the turn by American Family Field, there she is. I mean, and it's not an electronic billboard, so that thing will be there until somebody else buys it. So there she is. And if you're going eastbound, as you look at AmFam on one side, you look towards Miller Brewing on the other, and there it is. You can kind of see it in the eastbound lanes as well. But yeah, somebody had
driven past it. A friend of hers had driven past it and went, "Oh my God, did you know you're a billboard?" And she said, "No, that's not me, because we took the pictures they took were of them together, was like a group of people, you know?" And she basically became the face. They cropped everybody else out.
She looks very trustworthy. I say
Yeah.
I would trust that woman with my investments if I had any. That's where I would put them.
She does business banking. No, she's not with that bank anymore, Rick. She ended up going to a bank called First Business Bank. They're not the biggest, but they're kind of like the Mayo Clinic of banks. That's the way I describe them when it comes to business banking, whether it's big loans, small loans, and deposits and whatever else it is. But she basically moves your money and makes you money. That's what she does. So, and I don't understand any of it. It's hieroglyphics to me because I got no money. But yeah, so she took this group picture with all of her other cohorts in the bank. And then on top of that, they said, "Okay, we'd like to use that picture." Great. And the president of the company said, "Well, let's crop this and crop it. No, we're going to crop it. Nope, done." It's just her. They cropped everybody else out. So, on one hand, she's thrilled. On the other hand, she feels bad because the people she took the picture with all got cropped out. So they're looking at her at the bank going, "What the hell?" You know, because she's only been there a year and they headhunted her, man, hard to pull her away from the other bank she was at. And so anyway, yeah, she's now got a billboard. You know, I was on a bus once. Remember that? I was on a bus once.
Beats a park bench.
Yeah.
Not by much, but by a little.
I was on a bus cruising around. My head was on the buses out in Madison for a while. I know that. You know, I got my name on the RV, on the cruiser.
There is that.
Yeah. But beyond that, I don't think I've ever been a billboard. You know, she's one up me.
Well, if the pothole on your street has told us anything over the last couple of weeks, it's people struggle to pay attention to signage anyways. Right. So you can take solace in that. People typically don't listen to those messages that are staring them in the face anyways.
Oh God. Yeah. That's funny. That's funny. But yes, you're 100% correct. And by the way, it happened again this weekend. We had another. Now, they finished the hole at the top of the street. It's still some gravel. They filled it in, but they moved a street over now. So they've done that, and you heard it. I think it was like late last night. I shouldn't say late. It was probably about 9:30 last night. You hear this. I'm like, what the hell was that? You know, because it sounded like somebody fell off a ladder in a backyard. I'm like looking outside, you know, and then you hear the, you know, kind of a siren coming. I'm like, uh-oh. So I walked to the top of the street. It's only 100 yards. I walked to the top of the street. Sure enough, somebody in an old Mazda Miata. Remember those little tiny, you know, like if you put two of them together, I could wear them as rollerblades. They're tiny. The Mazda Miata. This thing, there was nothing. It was like gone, man. It was like a 2.5 foot hole, and just from like mid door up was the only thing that was visible.
There's a bit in Family Guy where I don't know if they're like a therapy meeting or someone's broken up. He's like, "Oh, I crashed my sports car and I killed someone." And Peter Griffin goes, "What was the sports car?" And the guy goes, "It was a Mazda Miata." And Peter goes, "What'd you do? Pick it up over your head and hit him across the skull with it?" Right. Like, oh my God. 2 Mazda Miatas would be a good set of rollerblades. Yes.
Yes. Right.
But I would take it. I would love a little convertible Mazda Miata.
Right. It was a Mazda Miata stuck in the hole at the top of the street, one block over. So it's just like, you got to be kidding me, man. I don't think, first of all, it was small enough to squeeze through the road closed signs. So I guess he felt like, if I'm small enough to get through this, I can get through anything. What he didn't realize is Mazda Miatas are not 4x4s. You know,
not quite. You would think, this is the thing, when you're sneaking through and it's gravel, you would think to at the very least slow down and be very careful.
Right. Yeah.
Which does not seem like the situation on your street.
A Mazda Miata is a little bit bigger than a soapbox derby car. It really is. Short of having a big head and a feather hanging out of its rear end, disguised as a chicken flying down the street.
You put a hole in the floorboard on the driver's side and run it around with your legs.
Yeah, it's one wheel bigger than a big wheel. Remember big wheels when you were a kid? You know, come on.
There's someone listening who is a proud Miata owner.
They're driving in it right now.
Yeah, and he's like, "What the hell did I do to deserve this?"
Me and my Mazda Miata. Oh, back in the day, we were the thing, man. Oh, it was the woman getter. Oh, it was right up there with the Pontiac Fiero.
Hey, the Fiero GT is kind of cool. Don't dump on.
Don't dump on my Fiero, man. No. The Fiero GT looked at least okay with the ground effects package on it. But if you just got the gold Fiero with the black bottom, just the basic gold top in the minimalistic of a Fiero, you acted like you were Tom Selleck driving around in a Ferrari back in the day. You needed help, man. I had a friend of mine, God, he was so into Magnum PI, and he bought a Fiero, and it was a gold one, and he still wore a Tiger's cap driving around the city of Cincinnati. He's wearing a Tiger's cap and the same aviator glasses, and oh my God. And he had a Hawaiian shirt on. He thought he was Magnum PI. Like, what are you, on a big case or something? It's going to shift it into overdrive. Man, listen to those gerbils go. Whee! Oh, my God. There you go. All right. That's it. The Pontiac Fiero. Not much of a car. You could probably flip it over with a good fart. Let's do this. We'll step away. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We got a lot to get to today. We're going to hear from inside the Packers locker room. We got a lot more to talk about when it comes to the odds of trade capability for the Milwaukee Brewers and who they may and or may not get. Stay tuned. We got a whole lot more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next. Ready?
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The engines are coming to life. It's race season again. Vintage, Superbikes, IndyCar, and more. For tickets and information, go to roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
My name is Greg, and I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Greg.
One fateful night, I got behind the wheel of my brand new sports car, a blind drunk. I was responsible for the death of an innocent 8-year-old girl.
What kind?
What?
What kind of car? You said you had a sports car. That's cool, but what kind?
It was a Miata.
Oh, come on. That's not a sports car. How does that even kill a kid? What'd you hit her over the head with it?
That's a legitimate sports car.
Nope. Next.
When I think of the head turns all around.
Oh my God! You know what? I'm going to hell for laughing at that. I'm going to hell for laughing at that. Oh my God! Oh. This portion of the program brought to you by nobody. For everybody that is listening to this program that giggled at that, you know what? I will bring the beer. I'll stop at Point on my way to hell, and Grant will bring out whatever hard booze he's going to bring, and we'll all meet at the bar in hell because we're all going to hell for laughing at that. I'll tell you that right now. Oh, my gosh.
It's one of my favorite jokes from the whole show. Anytime someone has a Mazda Miata, that's what I think of. And it's a cool car. Again, I would love a convertible to cruise around, a Mazda Miata, but just because of that scene from that show, I just can't take him seriously.
There is the Family Guy is the no F's given about anything. They will take the most sensitive topic and rip it. And that's the one thing that I always loved about that show and still do, is it didn't matter. It didn't matter what it was. Whatever controversial issue there was, they would take it head on and just run with it. And if you didn't have a sense of humor, you would run screaming into the woods because you were so unbelievably offended. And that was it. Yeah. Matthew says, for perspective, the Fiero uses the same GM iron Duke's 4-cylinder engine that the Postal Service uses in their old delivery vehicles. Okay.
Rick and Mike, they'll join the chat on my show sometimes too, and they'll just go back and forth. They'll just talk about cars.
Okay.
It's just right. I'll look over. It's like, what are they? They're talking about Mopar something or other.
Right.
Like, okay. I'm glad they're entertaining themselves. I must not be doing enough.
Yes, South Park 2, Jason, over in the live stream of the cheap seats, no doubt. Okay. So bottom of the hour, we got Matt LaFleur. We're going to hear from him. I did want to get this to you. And this is the trade deadline odds out of Vegas. I just got them probably, 15 minutes ago. No, a little bit longer than that, about a half an hour ago. From betonline.ag. Okay. Dylan Cease, his next team, the Brewers, 10-1. You got the Blue Jays, the Cubs, the Red Sox, the Tigers, the Yankees, the Astros, the Mets, and then the Brewers, 10-1 odds to get Dylan Cease. O'Neal Cruz, no interest regarding the Brewers. Eugenio Suarez, here we go. The Yankees, 2-1. The Mariners 3-1, the Tigers 4-1, the Mets 6-1, the Dodgers 7-1, the Phillies 8-1, the Brewers 9-1, followed by the Cubs. Manuel Class, really no interest out of the Brewers in that sense, and Stephen Kwan, no interest out of the Brewers there. Sandy Alcantara, his next team, the Brewers, 9-1 odds to be in that mix. The Astros, the Cubs, Cardinals, Mets, Dodgers, Giants, Padres, then Brewers. Zach Gallen, no interest there. The Cubs seem to be the front runner in that particular sense. Marcell Ozuna, by the way, the Brewers have rocketed to between them and the Tigers. Tigers 3-1, Brewers 7-2. How about that? And then you've got David Bednar. No interest in picking up David Bednar. Ryan Helsley, his next team. The Brewers 12-1 odds there, possibly. The Dodgers seem to be the front runner. And Adolis Garcia. The Brewers are 10-1 odds there. The Phillies lead that, followed by the Padres, Mariners, Dodgers, Giants. It seems like the Brewers are in quite a few of these in the mix. Ryan O'Hearn, the Brewers, not an interest there. And Luis Roberts, next team, not a lot of interest there out of the Brewers as well. But the Brewers mentioned quite a few times out of Vegas in some of these odds. Dylan Cease, which was interesting. Eugenio Suarez, and the Brewers are in that mix as well. And then I had mentioned that, what was the other one? Sandy Alcantara was another one for the Brewers. Marcell Ozuna, no interest there, by the way. Oh, no, I take that back. I'm sorry. A lot of interest there. 7-2 odds, the second most likely team to get his services, and then on from there. But that's where the Brewers stand. Is there any name there, Grant, that you went, oh, really?
Well, they don't need starters. So when we're talking about Alcantara or Gallen, it just doesn't make sense for the Brewers. They could use another high leverage reliever just because, I mean, I don't know if you noticed yesterday, they were pitching Uribe down 1 run. They were using McGill in a tie game. Like Murphy wields that pen aggressively, and Mears, I think, is, I don't know if he's going to go on the injured list or what, but there's some real fatigue there. So they could use another reliever. Any team that's contending could. Other than that, it's a bat. I like this trade deadline for the Brewers a lot because their goals and needs are very clear, and the ammo from which they have to draw is, I think, something that a lot of teams are looking at. They have pitching. You want major league ready pitching that you can rent? Here's Nestor Cortez. You want someone like Logan Henderson, who's toolsy and younger with plenty of term? We have that too. And that's just not something that a lot of these other teams have to offer. In fact, most of these other teams are looking for pitching. Yeah. So the Brewers can really focus and be really intentional, I think, about what they're going for and what they're giving up. So that excites me. I don't know that they'll do anything, but the pieces are certainly there and lined up if they want to.
Going over to the text line, for those of you that are texting in, 608-321-1670. Dan from Winona saying your earlier discussion about cramps, pickle juice, good for cramps and hangovers. I heard the pickle juice for cramps. I didn't know that for hangovers, though.
I asked for we got tequila shots at a small bar on La Coudray on Saturday, and he was handing limes, and I go, do you have any pickle juice? And the look this guy gave me, he didn't even say no. He's like, don't ask me that again. Just take your lime or chase it with water. So but I love chasing tequila shots with pickle juice. It's delicious, and it's nutritious, like you said.
Do you know that they now have pickle juice vodka?
Oh, I bet it's good.
I have got a bottle of it in the freezer in the bottom of my refrigerator right now. I am not a pickle juice guy unless it's sweet pickle juice. Kristen is a dill pickle juice person, and she bought the bottle of pickle juice vodka, and she will drink it straight, man. She's like, this is fantastic stuff. This is game changing. So, yeah, I got a whole bottle of that stuff right now in the bottom of my freezer in my refrigerator. So, yeah, they make that now. By the way, out of the 920, talking about the Marlins this past weekend, and the fact that the Brewers fell 2-3, or 2 out of 3 games to them, said, to be fair, the Marlins have been playing some pretty good baseball lately, but should have still won 2 out of 3. It's baseball. Sweep the Cubs, and all is well. Rick from Spencer, any thoughts on getting Eric Baranchek or Bill Huber on this week? Eric is going to have some good takes once he sees them in pads, which absolutely we're going to start dipping back into that pool. Oh, my God, Rockin' Rick. He sent me a picture. The baby blue Miata is his wife, Sue. Yeah, Sue's Miata in the back. He actually sent me a picture of it in their garage, which, by the way, is a 4-car garage. Nice garage. But he's got a picture of the baby blue Miata back there. So,
Bill, come on, that's not a sports car. How does that even kill a kid? Would you hit her over the head with it?
This is my favorite
bit.
Going to hell for laughing. It's a cartoon. It's not, not the biggest deal in the world.
So going to hell. Bill and Wanakee, when does the Huddle come back? The Huddle... thank you very much for asking. The Huddle is going to return on Wednesday. Let me see here. Wednesday, September 10th. Wednesday, September 10th. Our first Huddle returns. So Wednesday, September 10th, right after the Packers open up against the Detroit Lions, and just the day before they play the game against the Commanders. So Wednesday, September 10th. Look for the Huddle to be back as well. Brad in Sturgeon Bay, by the way, if your buddy was driving a Fiero, he would be more like Magnum PU, not PI. So, that's fantastic. And this one out of the 563 area code says, check out the video from this search. John Panetti talking about a Mazda. I can't even imagine. And for those that don't know, John Panetti was a comedian. He has since passed. But John was a massive human being. Massive. And he ended up losing a lot of weight in his latter years before they found him dead from a heart attack in his hotel room. I believe it was in Pittsburgh when he was on tour. But John Panetti, doing a thing on a Mazda Miata. Oh, my God, which is hilarious if you haven't seen it, because John was huge. He was just a massive human being, but just a funny individual. All right, let's do this. Those are the odds for the Brewers to get someone or who they may or may not get when it comes to the trade deadline, which is creeping up on us on Thursday, 5 o'clock Central Time. In the meantime, let's do this. We'll step out. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, Matt LaFleur, you're going to hear some of his comments when we return this portion of the program, brought to you by our friends at Dwayne's Cover It All. We can bring Dwayne into this because Dwayne's probably laughing right now. He's probably got us turned on in the shop. And he heard the whole thing about the Mazda Miata and the Family Guy thing. And he's going to be right there on the bus heading to hell with the rest of us. I can tell. So that's our buddy Dwayne at Dwayne's Cover It All. But he does great work. Boat covers, upholstery, awning out in front of your business. How about office furniture? We talked about the pit box covers that one of the companies right here in the state of Wisconsin who makes pit boxes for NASCAR, Formula One, IndyCar, Craftsman Truck Series, all that, said, hey, you're going to be the company that designs all the covers for these things. He just continues to grow and expand and do great work. DUANES, Dwayne'sCoverItAll.com. That is Dwayne'sCoverItAll.com. Call him direct, 715-870-2119, 715-870-2119. Again, 715-870-2119. That is Dwayne's, DUANES, Dwayne'sCoverItAll.com.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
For windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella Experience.
The biggest thing for us in the Experience Center was the collaboration with the team. We were able to come in and sit down and go over a bunch of different options. And it wasn't just us dictating what we wanted.
They asked us things we didn't even know or think about, from colors to hardware. And because of that, we were able to get the best possible look for our home.
Hi, I'm Gina Della from Pella. Just like Jim and Haley, you too can see, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of window and door options from 7 different Pella lines, side by side, at our Pella Experience Center in Brookfield. And today is a great day to stop by because right now you can get 0% interest for up to 5 years. The Pella Experience Center is on Blue Mountain Road, kitty corner to delicious cups. With a range of affordable options and products assembled in the USA, get the look you want at a price you can afford. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Swallow my pride, I would choke on the lines, but the lack thereof burning in the inside. I would swallow my doubt, turn it inside.
Good to have you back. The Bill Michaels Show. Going to be stopping out to see our friends at J&L Tire tomorrow, as a matter of fact. Go out and see Lyle and the gang. They're doing some stuff, getting a trailer ready for me for the trip out to Sturgis, making sure we're all good to go. So always make sure the wheels are greased and the axles are good and the tires are properly inflated and all that kind of good stuff because you don't want to have any problems on the road. So I'm going to go out and say hi to them. That's J&L Tire and Service Center just north of 94 at the Johnson Creek exit. You can see it from the highway. Also, they have a second location in Watertown on Boulder Road. And whether it's an over-the-road type of thing where you're driving an 18-wheeler, big box truck, whatever it happens to be, or like myself, getting ready to take a trailer out to Sturgis, South Dakota, or just maybe you need an oil change in your car or minivan, they can handle it all. That's our friends over there at J&L Tire and Service Center, voted the best. Get a hold of our friends at jnltire.com. That is jnltire.com. But more so than anything, working with a great company that's right here based in your own backyard, and they do a lot of great stuff right there in their own community when it comes to philanthropic efforts. So love working with them so much. It's just great to work with companies like that. Real quick, what was I going to say? I was going to say something was coming across I don't know what the hell I was going to say. I had something on the tip of my tongue. It happens every now and then. Oh, I know what it was. You had Marshawn Lloyd a little bit earlier. Mike Clemens just texted us and said Marshawn Lloyd, a quick juke to one side, runs into a couple of linebackers and was slow to get up. Just like, you got to be kidding me. So we'll see how he is.
Well, it's funny that Mike texts this because we're about to hear from Matt LaFleur. This is from yesterday.
Yeah.
And this has happened twice at practice already where Hobbs has hit guys kind of hard.
Yeah.
And Matt LaFleur talks about it in this presser. So I just thought it was funny. Like right before we hear his commentary on this, it happened again.
Right.
To Marshawn Lloyd. But also like Marshawn Lloyd seems to get hurt no matter what happens to him. Right. So I don't want Hobbs blowing up his own teammates, but also like the NFL is a physical as hell sport, man. And like, if you can't take a pop at practice without missing another week or two, or, maybe he doesn't miss any time, but I'm just saying he's had injuries with staying healthy. So if this is a continuation of that, I'm not really going to put that all on Hobbs. Sorry.
Here's one of the issues that I have and I love. Nate Hobbs basically said, look, I practice the way I play. I practice Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to get ready for Sunday. And I love that. Now, there are guys you're not expecting to be hit because that's not what that practice is. There's a thing in that where, it's kind of the unwritten rule. You're not going to club guys. But damn, I love that. It's guys will always tell you, you get ready you win on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You don't win on Sunday. Sunday, everything should be in place to go win. You win Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And, if he's lighting guys up, all for it. I'm all for it. Toughen up. I'm all for it. Absolutely. 877-867-1670. You can voice your opinion in that as well. In the meantime, here is Matt LaFleur, head coach of your Green Bay Packers.
And is the Irish kicker here or not yet?
That's a great question that I don't know the answer to. I don't believe he's back yet. He had to fly back. There was something with the visa or whatever. I don't know.
This is the last of these non-padded practices. Do you need to rein Nate back a little bit? He hit Wicks a couple times on Saturday.
The answer is yes. Okay. And this is what I told him. I don't think it's malicious. I think it's one of the things and one of the qualities that we really admired about him is how he competes. It's just, we talk about competing for the football. We just don't want to go through a person, whoever that person is, to make a play on the ball. I don't mind him going through the hands. We just don't want him to go through the body because that's how you end up with people on the ground. And, we'd all be sick to our stomach if somebody got hurt.
Hey, Matt, back to Rob's question a second. When McNamee gets here, what is the kicking plan for McManus?
It's going to be the same as it's been. In terms of, he goes basically every other day. So we'll stay with the same cadence.
Would you like a lot of hot days like today for the rest of camp, or do you just occasional, or do you have any view on that?
I got no control over it, so I don't even worry about it.
I know he's got to compete.
So I take it's going to be hot today?
Felt like it this morning when I was walking around.
I know he's got to compete and everything, but what does it mean? Excuse me. Especially after what I heard Wilson getting on special teams. What does it mean to get Christian back here? Christian ball.
Oh, yeah. I think, a veteran player that's played a lot of ball, that's contributed in a lot of ways. And I thought, going back to last preseason, he did a lot of great things for us. So he's certainly comfortable within our scheme, within our system, not only on defense, but also on offense. And, so he's a great team guy, great teammate, great person. So it's always great to have him back in the building.
And what kind of growth have you seen from Jacob Monk in year two, and just how valuable has this time been for him getting some of that first team work?
Yeah, I think it's incredibly valuable. Like every rep these guys get, whether it's full speed, walk through, it doesn't matter. Individual, I think, is critically important, especially when you're talking about young players. And he's just got to continue to stack those days, showing the level of consistency that we think he's capable of performing at from on every play.
We've seen the interceptions the last couple of days from Carrington Valentine. What have you seen from him during this offseason?
Yeah, he's doing a great job. He continues to grow as a player. It's amazing where he was when he first came in to where he is now in terms of, he's transformed his body. I think he's really talented. He played a lot of meaningful snaps for us a year ago and made some critical plays. So that's a great sign. And he just continues to bring competition to that room.
Does he play to the whistle a lot? Maybe sometimes after the whistle.
CD? Yeah. I think a lot of our guys do, hopefully. We always stress that, playing to the echo of the whistle, and no, he's done a great job.
Matt, how has Max grown this offseason?
I just think he obviously has a year with us, the comfort level. He is an extension of the coaching staff out there. I mean, he really has a great grasp of what we're trying to get accomplished. He understands the why behind what we're doing. I think he's really evolved as a communicator and is better in that regard. And he continues to take steps as a leader, not only on the defense, but our football team.
What do you have to be fixed? Like you could, it might get to his head and say, that's what I'm looking for, the individual stats. You ever been around a player that he just seems so calm and level-headed, his approach is just, I want everything for the team?
Yeah, I think that's what the great ones do. They're going to bring those around them and help them get better. And ultimately, there's no success like team success and the ultimate team sport. So, it just, I think it speaks to the level of the character of the person.
What would you like to see out of Kalen King? What does he need to do to try to make the team?
I think he's had a pretty impressive 3 days, especially coming off, those wrist surgery or whatever. And so just continue to stack those days and take advantage of those opportunities. But I think he's shown a lot of, I know he's not the biggest guy, but he is a pretty, he'll throw his body around in there and shows a lot of toughness.
Being on the practice squad last year helped him quite a bit.
Yeah, I think it does with a lot of guys in terms of just, everybody is going to grow at a different rate. He's a pretty young player. I think he was 21 when we drafted him last year. And so he's still got a lot of maturity in front of him, not only as a person, but as a player. But he's off to a really strong start, and hopefully that can continue to when we get into pads and then we get into those preseason games.
A year ago at this time, you didn't even have Malik on your team. In what ways is he different now, and in what ways do you and he have more confidence?
I just think he's got a much better grasp of obviously the system, but just all the details that entail good quarterback play in terms of the footwork, eye progression, and just showing a consistency that he's capable of doing. And certainly he adds a great element too as a runner, and that's something that you can't account for.
Matt, when Willis was at Auburn, he ran a 4.37, which is, I think,
Did
second.
he tell you that, or is that verified? Okay.
Vic was a 4.3.
A lot of these guys say I'm gonna have to, get on him about that.
But my point is he's fast.
He is very fast.
Are there any ways at all, without giving away game plan kind of stuff, you can get a guy like that on the field rather than just holding a clipboard when Jordan's healthy?
Well, you said it. We don't want to give away game plan stuff. So we did have last year, we did have a few packages with both those guys in the game. And I think we ran one play versus Chicago.
So as you get into padded practices, to me, I would think one of the drills that you're looking forward to is individuals with linemen to judge physical quickness, fundamentals. Are you anxious to see that as you get into this period of camp?
Yeah, I mean, now we're talking about real football. These guys are still in their underwear out there. So we're certainly, that's where you can get a better evaluation when these guys are on full pads and they're allowed to fit up on people and work those combinations. And certainly, in the pass protection, we're trying to limit our pass rushers from bull rushing. So you don't get a great, I guess, evaluation on being able to anchor when you are starting to get pushed in the pocket. So, looking forward to tomorrow.
Will you do any of those like late period of practice live stuff like you've done in the past?
Maybe. Do you want to see it?
Sure.
No.
Whatever.
You're pretty enthusiastic. Well, then why'd you ask the question?
I'm curious. The fans want to know.
I would count it. We're definitely going to have some tackle periods. So
With your starters or just with
who knows? Depends how salty I am that day.
Matt, Jeff talked a lot last year about how difficult it might have been for Javon Bullard to learn nickel and safety as a rookie, especially in the middle of the season. Do you think he's better equipped to, not just learn both positions, but to switch back and forth between them if he needs to?
Absolutely. I think just, again, he's more comfortable and really has a good grasp of the detail of why we're doing what we're doing. I think the communication amongst all those guys on the back end has been much better.
Do you think Jordan is moving around sort of like he did before the injury last year? Can you tell that yet, whether he's that kind of comfortable? I mean, I'm thinking of that ball to where he got out of the pocket.
Yeah, I think you usually can move a little bit better if you don't have, a knee or growing. So, but yeah, I think he's been looking good, and that's part of playing that position. I think, some guys are a little bit better at the pocket manipulation than others, but I think he's done a pretty good job. I think last year, I always look at the number of sacks guys take, and he has a good feel in the pocket and understands when he needs to use his legs to try to manipulate the pocket, or there's nowhere to go. Oh shoot, where's my check down? And so I think he's done over the course of 2 years a pretty good job with that, whether he's got his legs or not.
When Albert Brewer was in town, he was talking about, I'm not sure if it came from you or from Jordan, but an emphasis was him throwing more to the left. I guess the question is he's gotten more advanced in his career. Are you able to hone in on more specific things with him?
I just think it's natural for most right-handed quarterbacks. It's harder to throw to your left. I mean, when you're dropping back and your body's cut off like this, it's how can I open and unlock my hips to finish balance? So that's something that we're always working for and are working with all these guys. Conversely, a lefty is going to typically have a little harder time throwing to the right.
So are you able to hone in more, not just that particular thing, but just because he's played so many games now, are you able to hone in on maybe littler things than maybe you were even last year?
No, I think we've always kind of coached the detail of the footwork, and I just think that's the foundation for good quarterback play is not only the rhythm and timing, so your footwork, but also getting your body in a better position so that when you do throw the football, most of these guys, when they're on platform, when they're more balanced, they're going to be more accurate. So that's why there's such an emphasis on the defensive side of the ball of trying to move the quarterback off the spot, because now you're talking about maybe not as good a body position, guys a little bit more off balance, and that's usually where you're going to find more inaccuracy.
Vrabel said during the offseason that there was times when Wicks seemed like he had the weight of the world on his shoulders. And then he was saying this week that where he was at mentally last season was not very good. Could you see that last year? And can you see him any different now?
Yeah, I think I don't want to speak to that necessarily. I think that's a better question for him. But there was definitely moments you could feel the frustration. But I think he's done a really good job from when we got back in April up to this point of just, I think, really staying present and focusing on the task at hand, trying to take that one play mentality and make it come to life.
How important do you think that is, not just for him, but for all guys? I mean, we kind of forget that these guys aren't robots, they're humans, and they do go through that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, it is human nature when things, we all want to do well. And when we don't, or when we make a mistake, it's how do you respond to that? And I think that's the key to life, right? Is that resiliency to, if it doesn't go my way, to be tough enough mentally that, and not allow it to affect what's about to the next play or what is about to happen.
Last one, please.
relationship between Marshawn Lloyd and Josh Jacobs flourished during camp?
Yeah, I think Josh has done a really good job of trying to take him under his wing and guide him, because I know he's another guy that I think was extremely frustrated with all the injury situation that he had to battle through. And so he's done a great job up to this point, and hopefully he can continue to stack these days.
Thank you, guys.
Good.
There you go. That was Matt LaFleur talking yesterday prior or after the practice about, his football team. And Nate Hobbs is a hitter, man. They're like, look, we got to put a little bit of a rein on this guy, man. Got to bring him in a little bit. He's clubbing some people. But other than that, a lot of questions about it's like everybody's trying to dig up the diamond in the rough, trying to find the guy that, hey, this guy, he was a 7th round draft choice and he didn't do that. Let's just talk about what's right there in front of you right now.
All I'm saying is Mike Clemens can spot that guy without needing to ask Matt LaFleur. That's all I'm going to say.
How many times has Mike said, hey, pay attention to this guy. He's pretty good. He's going to make the team. And he does. We watch it time and again. If you want to talk about the evaluation of talent, the guy that's been there, done that for so many years, it's Mike Clemens. And you listen to Mike, and beyond that, you don't need to ask all the other crazy questions. About, hey, this guy was an undrafted guy, and before this, he was playing in a church league, and boy, he's got some great ball skills. Okay, whatever. Hope he makes the team. Talk to you later.
I was listening to the presser on my drive home yesterday, and the second question was, what's McManus's kicking routine? And I'm like, do I need to listen to? I don't think I need to listen to this right now.
I'm like,
I'm going to listen to music.
Is that where we're at?
Well, it's camp. There's not always a Pulitzer Prize to be won in every press conference at training camp in July, to be fair.
Good way to put it. Good way to put it.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back in the Bill Michaels Show. This portion of it, anyway, brought to you by our friends over there at the Potawatomi Casino and Sportsbook and Hotel and Entertainment Complex. And don't forget, you've still got a couple of days left in this month to get yourself maybe a brand new Harley Davidson, but they're giving away a bunch of cash as well. And you stop into Potawatomi, just go to check it out at paysbig.com. Paysbig.com. Everything right there at Potawatomi Hotel Casino. Again, go to paysbig.com. And they are a big supporter of our motorcycle ride coming up on Sunday, August 31st. For all the information and to get pre-registered, go to bigunitfoundation.com. That is bigunitfoundation.com. Again, bigunitfoundation.com. You'll find the links there to go and pre-register. You can also make a donation if you choose to do so. Say you're not a rider and you can't ride with us, but you can still make a donation. Great stuff. And it's all supported by one of our fabulous sponsors, and that is Potawatomi Sportsbook and Potawatomi Hotel Casino. Gaming, sportsbook, restaurants, music, nightlife. Got the beverages and the bars. Go to paysbig.com. Great stuff. 2 hours down, 2 hours yet to go. When we come back, let's listen to what Xavier McKinney has to say regarding the Pack attack this year. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, the Brewers will open a huge series at home tonight against the Cubs. The two teams are tied atop the NL Central as they meet for a 3-game series. It'll be the third series the teams have played this season, with the Cubs taking 3 of the 5 games. Milwaukee will send Jacob Misiorowski to the mound tonight. Going to be pitching for the first time in the rivalry. Veteran Brandon Woodruff had some words of advice for the rookie.
Look, it's the big leagues, man. It's tough as it is, but you have a little bit more focus. It's nothing really changes in terms of how you want to go about your business. It's just turn the focus up a little bit, because honestly, you're probably going to block a lot of the crowd out. I mean, once you get out there and get in the environment, it kind of just becomes get the pitch, go to the mitt, and just repeat that.
Misiorowski comes in 4-1 with a 2.45 ERA. The Cubs counter with Matthew Boyd. He's 11-3 with a 2.20 ERA. It's going to be his first start against Milwaukee this season. He has not allowed a run in nearly a month. Again, it'll be the Brewers and Cubs tonight at American Family Field. First pitch is set for 6:40.
For nearly 40 years, ABC Wisconsin Apprenticeship has been helping men and women transform themselves into highly skilled trade professionals. These skills are in demand and provide strong wages and benefits for a bright future. If you're a hands-on person who likes the feeling when you get projects done, apprenticeship could be for you. Go to buildyourcareerwi.org or just search online for ABC of Wisconsin.
Well, it was a big day for the Packers at training camp as offensive lineman Elton Jenkins was activated off the NFI and returned to practice on a limited basis. Jenkins had missed the first 4 practices with a back injury. He also reportedly looking for a new contract. Quay Walker also took part on a limited basis for a second straight day. And Wisconsin going to head to Platteville today to open up fall camp tomorrow. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil.
This is the last of these non-padded practices. Do you need to rein Nate back a little bit? He hit this a couple times on Saturday.
The answer is yes.
Okay.
And this is what I told him. I don't think it's malicious. I think it's one of the things and one of the qualities that we really admired about him is how he competes. It's just, we talk about competing for the football. We just don't want to go through a person, whoever that person is, to make a play on the ball. I don't mind him going through the hands, We just don't want them to go through the body because that's how you end up with people on the ground. And, you know, we'd all be sick to our stomach if somebody got hurt.
Nate Hobbs is a hitter. Welcome in. We are just beyond the halftime of the Bill Michaels Show. Welcome in today. Thanks for joining us. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You can find us by calling. You can also text us, and we went through some text messages a little bit earlier. We'll do some more coming up. 608-321-1670, 608-321-1670. If you want to watch us each and every day, we are over on YouTube. We are a show within itself. And you can also track us down at YouTube. Go to youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. Michaels, Michaels, Bill Michaels Show. 3 words, put them all together. We're on Twitter, on X, at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels. Grant Bills at Wisco Grant, WISCO at Wisco Grant. You can also find us in Instagram, Facebook form, TikTok form, Twitch app, Kick app, LinkedIn app, The Bill Michaels Show. Email the program, thebillmichaels@gmail.com. The website simply thebillmichaels.com. The app is WOZN Madison. That's our flagship station out of Madison, Wisconsin. You can take us anywhere and everywhere and listen to the program. You can find us on Spotify, Apple iTunes, Google Podcast after the fact. All you got to do is search Bill Michaels or Bill Michaels Show. You're good to go. And don't forget, every Saturday night, 8 o'clock Central Time on My 24 TV in Milwaukee. We are a television show. My 24 TV in Milwaukee. So there you go. Nate Hobbs is a hitter. I like it. I like it a lot. I know some people may go, wow, it's only practice. Look, Nate Hobbs believes, 1, being aggressive. 2, you play the way you practice. And it's not that you want them, like Matt LaFleur said, running through guys, but you want guys that are going to be competitive. Might be the very softest term that you can use. Competitive in practice, because it only makes you more competitive when the lights are on for real. And Marshawn Lloyd was it Hobbs that hit Marshawn Lloyd today, Grant? Do you know?
Yeah, I guess he hit him low in the flat or something.
Okay.
And people, I'm just looking at tweets from Packers fans, everyone's losing their mind. It's like, guys, do you want the Packers to have physical players or not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think at the end of the last couple of years, we thought, man, the Niners are so much more physical, or the Eagles are so much more physical. I don't want guys getting blown up in practice, but a little bit of that,
right?
I think can sometimes be a good thing. And by the way, Marshawn Lloyd, he can't catch a break. He's sort of because he seemingly gets injured a lot. Like, I'm not going to put that on Hobbs. I'm not going to say that that's bad luck. He's an injury-prone player, at least through this point in his NFL career.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't get banged up during practice, what? He's supposed to run that exact play in an actual NFL game, and you tell me, will he be fine then? Like, I don't know. I'm not going to put that all on Hobbs.
Nope. I wouldn't either. Now, like I said, if you're not expecting it, that's one thing. If you're just being aggressive and things happen, it is what it is. I don't know. I just really believe that a lot of the time when you listen to veterans, they tell you play the way you practice. And if you're going to practice soft, you're going to play soft. And what do we see at the end of the season? We saw a defensive front absolutely annihilate the Green Bay Packers in Philadelphia. We saw a physical football team in Detroit beat the Packers twice. We saw a physical defense beat the Packers twice in Minnesota. I don't have a problem with it. I know there's a fine line between getting banged up and not, but I don't have a problem with it. Not at all. Let's see, what else do we have? This one's from Ryan, who says, is Marshawn Lloyd a history-prone guy when it comes to injuries? Well, recent history, you'd say, yeah. The whole thing with the injury bug, don't forget, at the end of the season, it wasn't an injury. The guy had an appendicitis. So he was out for quite some time because they had to cut him open to take his appendix out. So I'm not going to just sit here and go, he's an injury-prone guy. I mean, he's had a couple of injuries, yes, in a very short campaign with the Green Bay Packers. But part of that was, don't forget, he had the appendicitis.
That was after he was just about ready to come back.
Yeah.
What was it? A hamstring at one point, and I think a hip at one point too. So he had 2 or 3 things before that. That was unlucky. The appendicitis was unlucky. Everything else, I don't know. People always get their back up when you say that a player is injury prone. We'll say whatever you want. He's just been injured a lot. Okay, right. So chuck that up to whatever you want. I guess I won't use injury prone because that's a phrase that gets people bent out of shape.
Yeah, it's when you look at the reality of whether or not it's banged up or not. He was ready to come back, like you said, and then that happens, and there's not much you can do about it. Just your body has a reaction to something that says it doesn't want it anymore. But you got to see how he shakes off today. And again, he was slow to get up, but it wasn't like he was laying there and had to be taken off on a stretcher, and it looks like he's going to be gone for a while. So we'll wait and see. I mean, did he just get the wind knocked out of him, or was he really, down for some period of time? So we'll wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens. I like the fact that this is from Christian, who says, I love a guy that wants to hit. You can't be beating up on your own players in practice, but it's good to see a guy that wants to get out here and hit. Hopefully he takes that aggression to the field. This is what we've been searching for a long time when it comes to the secondary. And he also says Jair ceased being a hitter after he ended up hurting his shoulder, which is true. He became more of a throw your body in front of it kind of guy rather than an actual hitter. And I agree with that.
To be fair to Jair, we've seen that with plenty of corners. Kevin King was a hitter when he came into the league too. But then those guys get one injury or they get a contract. It's like, okay, well, I don't need to be doing that anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can make my bones playing a less physical game, which is human nature. I get it, but it doesn't seem to be a problem for Nate Hobbs, at least in practice.
Right.
I hope he doesn't get soft when the games get real all of a sudden. Then I'd be pretty pissed.
I know, right? The other news of the day was that the Packers offensive lineman Elton Jenkins coming off of the non-football injury list today. Matt LaFleur said that Jenkins will be limited, and they put him on the NFI listed ahead of training camp amid the contract dispute with the team. He is moving from left guard to center, as we all know, and he's seeking an adjusted contract to reflect the current market for his new position. Jenkins had a couple of years on that 4-year, $68 million contract. Most of that money was guaranteed, and at an average of $17 million a year, he's currently the highest or second highest paid center in the NFL. With Cam Jurgens and Creed Humphrey of the Chiefs is the $18 million man, but Jenkins is looking for the extension. So we'll see how that all pans out before it's all said and done. But he's coming off the non-football injury list as well. I got a little bit of reaction coming in off of this as well. This is from Adam. Adam says, hey guys, do you think that Nate Hobbs is wanting to just prove himself and therefore he's showing off a little bit to his guys to show that there's going to be no, this is what you do. And I don't mean to cut you off quick in your email, Adam, because I think it's a very, it's a valid question. But no, I think this is the reason they picked him up. You heard Matt LaFleur say it. This is a guy that's an aggressive guy in the secondary. You can't have a smash mouth defense and not have guys in the secondary that hit. You can't do it. You can't just maul up front and try to push guys around, but yet you don't get to the quarterback. You don't have linebackers that blitz, and you don't have a secondary that hits, that dislodges you from the football. So I'm all for it.
Somebody's got to be hitting somewhere. And I don't think this defensive front is that. So if they can't do it, it's got to happen somewhere. I'll take it from the secondary.
By the way, kudos to Jake Ferguson, former Badger, 4 years, $52 million extension, $30 million guaranteed, the highest paid tight end in Cowboys franchise history. So there you go.
You know what my first thought was when I saw that?
What's that?
Well, don't the Packers typically do contracts largest to smallest? That's how they do it?
Yes.
And then the Cowboys like, pay Micah Parsons, who probably should have been paid last year.
Right.
It's like, there's an extension, and it's Jake Ferguson.
Right.
And not your, superstar edge rusher that fans are yelling at Jerry during practice to get that deal done.
Yeah. And then Stephen Jones, Jerry's son, who then fielded questions after that practice, said, yeah, it doesn't change our thought process. Like when the whole world knows you're slow rolling a guy and it's costing you money by the day, What are you doing? Didn't he say something to the effect of, well, Micah's got to want a new contract too? I heard that. I'm like, what?
Let me look into that.
There's always something with the Cowboys. He wants a contract. The guy's been wanting a contract, talking about a contract for a while now. In other words, he's got to want to sign the deal we put in front of him, which is the way I took it. He's got to sign that deal. If he wants a new contract, he's got to sign that deal. No, he's looking at other guys that are getting paid, saying, hey, every time somebody gets signed, the price goes up. Hey, dude, you may want to sign me over here. Micah Parsons, compared to a guy like Trey Hendrickson, TJ Watt, Micah Parsons is young. He's wrapping up his rookie deal. These other guys have had deals. He's wrapping up his rookie deal. He's younger and better on that spectrum than the guys that got paid or are still sitting out there like a Trey Hendrickson. I think if they pay Hendrickson now, which I don't think they'll ever do, but if they pay Hendrickson close to the money that TJ Watt got, if you're the Cowboys, it just costs you even more money. It's like, what are you waiting for? And why are you screwing with this? But that's Jerry. That's Jerry. Running the options, so to speak. All right, let's do this. When we come back, we're going to hear from Xavier McKinney. I want to get enough time to talk about all the things that the veteran defensive secondary guy has to put together. So we'll talk with him and also, hear from him, I should say, and also get his thoughts on a lot of things regarding camp, regarding the Green Bay Packers, the optimism for this upcoming season. Heck yes. This portion of the program brought to you by a good veteran-owned company right here in the state of Wisconsin. Racine, Wisconsin is where they started, right in their own garage, making barbecue sauces, and the neighborhood loved it. And then they started selling them locally, and then it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And now they're one of the better veteran-run companies in the country. BurnPitBBQ.com. They're going to be at State Fair. You can look for them out there. They do a lot in the community, so you can always look for them doing some grassroots stuff. But they're a big sponsor of ours, not only for the program, but also for the motorcycle ride. And Greg and Ben, they work with us on our motorcycle ride and our Big Unit Foundation. Great guys. BurnPitBBQ.com. Every season is grilling season right here in the state of Wisconsin. Go to BurnPitBBQ.com. That is BurnPitBBQ.com. Xavier McKinney and the Packers next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Truck drivers, it's time to take your skills to a company that invests in your safety and comfort. Schneider's newer and well-maintained equipment keeps drivers moving and making money. Our trucks are spec'd with the latest safety and comfort features that drivers want. Plus, we offer a huge selection of driving jobs so you can find a job with the home time and schedule you've been looking for. Upgrade to a better driving job today. Search jobs near you and apply now at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
For windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella Experience.
The biggest thing for us in the Experience Center was the collaboration with the team. We were able to come in and sit down and go over a bunch of different options, and it wasn't just us dictating what we wanted.
They asked us things we didn't even know or think about, from colors to hardware, and because of that, we were able to get the best possible look for our home.
Hi, I'm Gina Della from Pella. Just like Jim and Haley, you too can see, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of window and door options from 7 different Pella lines, side by side, at our Pella Experience Center in Brookfield. And today is a great day to stop by because right now you can get 0% interest for up to 5 years. The Pella Experience Center is on Blue Mountain Road, kitty corner to delicious cups. With a range of affordable options and products assembled in the USA, get the look you want at a price you can afford. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Service purchase fines 2025.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Hard to find street stone, modern warriors.
They just had a big lake party. Denzel and the staff from Social House. They do kind of the Christmas in July and treat the entire staff to a weekend down at the lake house. And they just did it this past weekend. It was kind of cool, actually, where they kind of do, because they're all working, usually around Christmas time because they're taking care of parties and all that kind of stuff. So they do a Christmas in July. And the whole staff was out at his house this past week out on Lake Lower Nemaubin. And a lot of fun. They always have music and beverages and stuff and just swimming around in the lake. It was pretty cool. But he does that kind of stuff for his staff. They were open this weekend as well for people that couldn't make it. But there was always something going on. I rode past there, as a matter of fact, last Tuesday or Wednesday. And they had a bags tournament going on out front. So there's always something happening, whether it's catching a Brewers game, stopping in for the Tiger Burger, a mixed drink and free pancakes on a Sunday, or just to go in and say hi to friendly faces. That's the Social House, SHAUS on West Lisbon Road, Menominee Falls, Brookfield. Stop in and tell them we said howdy. Good stuff. Good stuff. Xavier McKinney of the Green Bay Packers met with the media. Take a listen.
I got a post on Instagram that said, man, because I used to watch Xavier McKinney and Malik Willis tear up my high school in Georgia.
Yeah.
Now I got to tear them up too.
Yeah.
I can't believe they're all on the same team. What were those days like?
So T-Hop, he was actually after us. Yeah. So we didn't get to. He didn't get to play with us. We didn't get to play with him. But when me and Malik played, I mean, we had a hell of a team. We had, one of the best teams to come out of Georgia to play in Georgia. And it was just fun. And just being back with them, it's a blessing, man, because you don't get to see that a lot of times. Sometimes you see guys playing at the same high school get to the league, but then you don't ever get to see them actually on the same team. So it's just a blessing, man, and kind of take it all in. We've talked about it plenty of times, and our family, obviously have fun with it, but it's just great being back with them and being teammates with them again.
Something about your coaches, or something in the water, or what is it? I mean, because you've got a lot of players.
It was a coaching staff that we had. We had great mentors, great coaches. A lot of great people really around us to help us get to this point that we're at today. So, shout out to them. Shout out to Rambo. Shout out to Doc, Coach Phillips. So a lot of people, man, that you got to get shout outs to for sure.
So what's different for you kind of running this defense from the back end now that it's the second year with Coach Half and everything he's trying to do? What's different for you in year 2?
Nothing really different for me. I think, if anything, I'm just trying to elevate my game more and be a much better leader than I was, last year. So I think it's always just a work in progress for me. Trying to figure out ways where, I could be better for this team and for my room, and not only for myself but also helping the other guys. I'm pretty much obsessed with trying to help the guys around me and bring them to the level that I'm at or higher. So I think that's the biggest thing for me right now, is just trying to help everybody evolve and making our room that much better as the season goes on.
Why do you care so much about making that a priority?
Man, I don't know, man. I get joy from that. I guess it's kind of like the places that I've been, the high school that I went to, and then obviously going to Bama, just always trying to, make sure the next guy, the next man up was ready to go, and making sure that, he knew everything, he had to do. So when he got in the game and when it was his opportunity, he was able to shine as well. So I just get a joy from seeing guys, seeing the younger guys go in there, make plays. And also, I don't like to see guys, go in there and not know what to do and not make plays, you know what I'm saying? So just trying to, make everybody better and, like I said, make our room that much more competitive.
In a perfect world, what does elevating look like? Because obviously you could say, it results in, better stats for everyone else.
Yeah.
The room looks better, but in a perfect world, what does that look like?
I think to me, what it looks like, I think it comes first in the classroom. Obviously, we in meetings pretty much all day. So just making sure the guys, they understand, route concepts, understand what we're doing schematically on defense. And then once you obviously, understand what you're doing within, the scheme of your job, then kind of understanding the pieces around you. So that way, that allows you to do your job better. So just trying to make everybody kind of like an on the field coach, especially when it comes to being a safety, because to be elite safety, you got to be an on the field coach. So just, trying to help them, do that and get that job done. And that's how I see that.
Why is this year going to be better against the NFC North?
We locked in, man. I know for, personally for me, I got one goal on my mind, and that's to win the championship. So, I think, in order to get that done, obviously you got to win the division. So I think that's extremely important for me. That's extremely important for our team as a whole. And I think everybody understands that collectively, not just the team, the staff, everybody understands that. So we just laser focused right now. And, day by day, we're going to continue to get better. We're going to continue to do what we need to do on and off the field to be able to, put ourselves in a good position to be able to get that job done.
I asked Jordan this the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Vikings are coming out with a new quarterback. Lions got to bring in 2 new coordinators, some new coaches. Whole new coaching staff in Chicago. You bring back your coaches and your guys. Is that a little advantage for you guys coming out of the gate this season?
I guess I'm not really sure. Obviously, having the same, the staff is very important, and it helps, the players at the end of the day, because we don't have to learn a new scheme or anything like that. But still, at the end of the day, we got to go out there, the players, and we got to go out there and play, So it really doesn't, it has an effect, obviously. But at the end of the day, your guys, your star players, your leaders of your team, of our team, have to go out there and play well, and in order really for us to win.
You obviously, these younger guys gravitate towards you. They said almost that your results and what you do is like infectious. Even I think Evan even said you take notes every meeting. Why do these younger guys just gravitate towards what you're doing?
Yeah, man. I just try to the standard is the standard. I told him this today. Nobody is above it. Like obviously myself included. I'm not above it. So for me, I just try to continue to get better each and every day, regardless of what the circumstances are, regardless of how I feel. I'm always trying to get better, and I know in order to be able to lead them, I have to, lead by example. I got to do the right things. I got to do things day to day, the right way in order for them to follow. So I just keep that in my mind. And like I said, regardless of what I'm feeling that day, I know that, they're looking up to me. So I got to be the one to, set the right example for them.
You obviously know Clemens pretty well from New York. What have your thoughts been on how he's come in here?
Man, he's doing a hell of a job. He making plays everywhere out there on the field. And then obviously he can play everywhere on the field. He can play backer. He can play in the box. He could cover guys. So he's going to be a huge asset for our team and for our defense. And it's going to help us be able to move, other guys around as well. So it's fun seeing him. It's fun being back, playing with him as his teammate. And can't wait to see him, be really good this year for us.
Hey, you seem like a guy that just never stops learning and always trying to learn. Was there anything even that you learned about yourself last season, even with all the success that you had?
That's a great question. I got to think about that. That's a great question, man. But, for me, man, I'm just trying to continue to get better. I don't care, what accolades I had. Obviously, that's past me now. It's another year, so I got to do it all over again. So I'm just going to keep chopping down the tree, keep finding new ways where I can, be a better player and a better teammate for my team.
Hey, just real quick. You played in Brazil last year.
Mm-hmm.
You played in the game against these guys in London a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah.
Mark Murphy told us that he thinks there's going to be an international game for every team every single year. Or how would you feel about going to a foreign country for a game every single year?
I wouldn't mind it as long as we can move around. Brazil was cool, but we couldn't go nowhere and we couldn't do anything. So it's like, it's cool, but if we can't get to really experience kind of where we're at, then it's like, what are we really doing? So I like the idea, but I think it needs to be a place where, it's safe enough for us to be able to explore as well while we're there.
Thank you.
There you go. Xavier McKinney talking to the media, and a lot about being a leader. It was a lot about some of the things that he had already talked to the guys in the secondary about. And he says at the end of the day, quite a bit, but as much as you want to talk about scheme and familiarity and the rise that they had last year, you got to do it all over again. And that was kind of like the theme, the thread through his messaging. So good stuff when you get a chance to listen to Xavier McKinney. So much more we want to get to. Bottom of the hour here. Let's talk some baseball when we come back, shall we? Because the trade deadline is approaching. We all know that. The Brewers, with the possibility of making a move or two, or we'll have to wait and see. You got a big one coming up tonight down at American Family Field because The Miz is back. The Miz is back on the hill tonight as the Brewers open up that 3-game series. The I-94 series coming up tonight. Mizorowski against Boyd. Mizorowski 4-1. Boyd 11-3. So Mizorowski has beaten Skeens. Mizorowski has beaten Kershaw. Now Boyd hopefully is the next up. And the Brewers obviously have to get some run support behind him to give him that opportunity. And you wonder what the load management might be in this contest before it's all said and done. These two teams with the best record in the National League, both coming in tied atop the National League Central, 62-43. The Cubs, 29-24, 5 games over on the road. The Brewers, though, at home, 34-19, even though they lost 2 of those games over the weekend. 34-19 at home at American Family Field. So we'll talk some Brewers baseball when we come back. Stay tuned. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at The Nice Ash. Hopefully, if you got a victory cigar, hopefully you're lighting it up tonight down at the Ash after the Brewers take care of business against those Chicago Cubs. Stay tuned for that. But if you're looking for good, like tonight, they've got poker down there. They've got the big walk-in humidor, fine bourbons and whiskeys. But you can just go down and catch the vibe and sit in those big, comfortable couches or chairs and kind of sit back and relax and watch the Brewers game, or just go in and get your favorite beverage and cheer on the crew, whatever it happens to be. 323 West Main Street, downtown Waukesha. That is theniceash.com. That's theniceash.com.
Ready? This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Phil Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Phil Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Phil Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Phil Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Phil Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Phil Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Orlando. See this program. We're in. We're in. Speaking of good people, Michael and Melissa from Dream Vacations,
They're actually at a big convention right now, learning how to even be better, which I can't imagine. But they helped us this past year with our trip to Punta Cana, going next year to Exuma. And for all your resort, your cruise, your sports travel, vacation needs, man, Dream Vacations, that's the way to go. All you got to do is call them directly anywhere in the state of Wisconsin. 414-208-4221. 414-208-4221. Again, 414-208-4221. Ask for Michael or Melissa, and they're great when it comes to your travel needs as far as travel agents go with Dream Vacations. And if you're going to travel internationally, great. If you're going to travel locally, great. If you're going to just take a quick jaunt to Vegas, they can help you out and give you some suggestions. So that's good people over there at Dream Vacations. Dream Vacations, again, right here in the state of Wisconsin. Just give them a buzz. 414-208-4221. There you have it. All right, Grant, we talked a little earlier about some of the odds, if you will, regarding Dylan Cease and company and Eugenio Suarez and some of the guys that are out there on the market, at least you would assume at this point, Sandy Alcantara possibly, and the Brewers' place in it. So when it comes to trade deadline stuff, I think I think with what we saw this past weekend specifically, you look at a guy like Joey Ortiz, who in the latter portion of games when they need base hits, they're hitting for him. You know, you've got young guys that are right now in this organization that they're throwing up there. They're trying to, kind of get them to become acclimated to see what they can do when it comes to being able to put the ball in play. A guy like Anthony Siegler, a couple of times this weekend, watched a strike three right down Broadway, never took the bat off of his shoulder. You need that bat. You need that guy. And I'm not adverse to bringing in a guy that's better at third, that can really anchor the outfield. Or, we know Blake Perkins is a speedster, and you love to see him on and be aggressive and steal his way into a scoring position and tying the ball game up, ultimately winning the game yesterday. But I don't have a problem with if the Brewers go out and get another. I just, watching it this weekend, I just kept thinking to myself, if they had that guy coming off the bench, or if they had that guy to where one of the guys that we currently like is coming off the bench, I think we would feel probably really, really, really good about this team.
I think Ignacio said on the broadcast that we have no holes, right? I think he mentioned that on the television broadcast this weekend. I saw a lot of commentary about that. And I don't think he's wrong in that they don't man, if you don't get a third baseman or if you don't get a shortstop, you're porked, right? Because they have capable players to play all those spots, and they've been playing at a really high level. But some Brewers fans are like, well, if you trade for a bat, where are you going to play him? It's like, well, watch and listen to what the Brewers are telling you. Mm-hmm. They're telling you how they feel about some of these players by the decisions they make. Durbin's played half the time. He has not been nearly as good against righties, right? Those splits have become clear. The Brewers feel that way. Ortiz, they've been quick to pull out of the game, right? So there you go, right? Look at all the at-bats that Monasterio or Siegler are getting. That's the role that you can improve. Or, get yourself an awesome third baseman, and then Durbin can become the new Monastery, the new Monastery or the new whatever. I also think they need probably a reliever, as most contenders do. And this is a massive story. You mentioned Emmanuel Clase, the Guardians closer who's been on the block. He was placed, this is about an hour ago, on non-disciplinary leave as a part of Major League Baseball's sports betting investigation. He's the second pitcher in Cleveland. And he was maybe going to be like this big deadline acquisition for somebody. Can you imagine if somebody had acquired him and then this came out a couple of days after? This is a huge story in the middle of deadline week for Major League Baseball. Jeff Passan reported it.
Yeah, and Bob Nightingale now saying the same thing. Cleveland Guardians closer Emmanuel Clase, trade value completely evaporates. He's being investigated by MLB for gambling. He joins Guardians teammate Luis Ortiz on the non-disciplinary leave. So, yeah, it's, boy, I tell you, that's the one thing, man, when guys start to talk, like, hey, man, I did this and you can do this. And that never bodes well when guys start to talk, if indeed this is true. That's the thing. If indeed it's true.
I know some sports fans will say, well, so fans can bet on it, the league can make money from it and advertise from it, but the players can't. Nope. That's how life works.
No, they cannot. And, it's just like, it's like going, it's like working in a cigarette factory. You can't smoke indoors. You're selling cigarettes so everybody else can smoke wherever they want, but you can't smoke indoors there at the cigarette factory.
That's a good comp. Yeah.
That's it.
Or the NFL advertises Miller Lite, Bud Light all the time. That doesn't mean the players can drink it on the field.
Right.
Well, fans in the stands, the league's making
Right.
it. Yeah, but that's not
Exactly.
how life works.
Yeah.
Be an adult. There's also a story, and I sent you the link. I think I'm going to talk about this a bunch tonight. Jeff Passan has it up at ESPN. Philly star Bryce Harper stood nose to nose with Commissioner Rob Manfred during a clubhouse meeting last week and told him to, quote, get the F out of our clubhouse if he wanted to talk about a salary cap, sources told ESPN.
Yeah.
I guess Manfred does a visit with each team and talks to them in their clubhouse about the issues, which seems smart. And Bryce Harper didn't want to do it.
It's going to be a battle. And that's probably putting it as a very, very vastly rated understatement. It's going to be a battle. And if the owners truly want that, they're going to have to concede to open the books. They're going to have to concede to LaFleur, and they're going to have to be willing to shut it down for at least a year, if not more. And we're all going to complain about it. We're all going to bitch about it. The one thing, here's one thing out of this whole thing that I want to see. If indeed the owners commit to it, don't cave. Wait it out. If we got to go without baseball for 2 years, wait it out. If this is the direction you want to go, and many, 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 many fans want it to go in that direction, not just New York and LA. If you intend on seeing this through, don't cower. Don't become ballless in the very end and say, no, we're not, we're going to cave and, we'll concede this and concede. Nope. Get it or don't. Get it or don't. Because if you go through all of this and you go, say, a year without baseball and it looks like the second year could be lost and suddenly you cave because you got bills to pay, then you completed nothing. Either wait it out or don't do it at all. Wait it out or don't do it at all. It's just same as what happened with drug testing. Now granted, they had to go to Capitol Hill and get shamed. Donald Fear looked like an idiot on Capitol Hill. But it was like, nope, we're going to get it done or we're not going to have baseball. And finally, Donald Fear, after being publicly humiliated by Tom Daschle and his crew on Capitol Hill, ended up saying, okay, and they put, PED testing into Major League Baseball. But in this particular sense, the players are adamant. And the owners, I get it, where they're at. But if you're going to do it, do it.
Well, the owners
have fans want to see it.
The owners have a trump card that the players probably won't pay or play. The owners are probably willing to miss more games than players are.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bryce Harpers and the Mike Trouts of the world say, well, are you kidding me? I'll miss this season.
Right.
But then 80-90% of the players in the union are like, hey, man, I need those game checks to feed my family.
Exactly.
Right there. And this is what's so interesting in all these players unions. Bryce Harper can, cock off to Rob Manfred and raise a stink and miss games. But can 80% of the players in that same union?
No, because you'll find out, there was God, I wish I had it. There was a great post going back to the beginning of the collegiate football season last year. And I think it might've been in Colorado, but it was one of their professors who came in and said, let's talk about the NIL. It was a guy that explains the money. And he said, let's take $1 million and then divide it out. And by the time you buy your mama house, and by the time your agent gets a piece, and by the time you cut out taxes, and by the time you were left like $100,000. When you think you're a millionaire, you basically got $100,000. So when you talk about some of these guys making 6, 7, 800,000, they're still on rookie deals, or they haven't become arbitration eligible yet, and they're not making big money like a Bryce Harper. They get pretty quick to where you can start to squeeze the snake, so to speak. You got to cut off the head to get the snake to die. And the head is all the older guys. What you want to do is cut them away from the younger guys. That's how unions do it. If you've got money and you can sit back and say, okay, I'll wait this thing out, you've done your due diligence over the years. But for the young up-and-comers, they haven't made that money yet. And that's all they're hoping for. And you're taking away a year or two of their livelihood and of their ability. If you're a guy at 27, 28, and suddenly you're looking at not playing ball again until the age of 30 because you're going to take a year off because you're going to sit out, and you're, by the way, maybe in the midst of a contract discussion, you want to get to that sooner rather than later, because after the age of 30, nobody wants to pay you that same amount of money going to the age of 38, 39, 40. So, once you start to cut that the head off, the snake off at the head, that's when you find guys start to cave and it starts to divide the union, and that's what the owners want. So if you're going to do it right. But if you're not, don't even bring it up. Don't talk about it.
And I've found most of the commentary from Rob Manfred, which has probably been very carefully manicured and all these public appearances, but I find it to be pretty compelling. And I think baseball fans, we rip Rob Manfred because it's easy to rip commissioners.
Right.
But for the last 3 or 4 years, I think all of the changes that have been instituted have been big time successes.
Yeah.
Right. And I think the Players Union has fought all those changes tooth and nail, maybe for some baseball reasons, but also to me, an outsider, sometimes it just seems like they just want to fight everything that the owners want to do.
Well, that's true too.
And that's a little bit of a turnoff for me. So if we're about to get into a war between players and owners over some of this stuff, like I'm already kind of predetermined. Like I'm already kind of siding with owners and Rob Manfred, because again, they've had a pretty good 3 or 4 year run here with some rule changes and some adjustments they've made to the major leagues.
I still look at it as, hey, if they get a salary cap, let's do it. I'm not a fan of everything they've done, but it's been better. And better than I think what a lot of people had anticipated. I'm still not a fan of putting a runner on second and all that kind of stuff in extra innings. I'm still not a fan of the shift, but I get it. I understand some of this stuff. But if they're going to go for this salary cap thing, that is the ultimate, head bump. And if they're not serious about getting through it, then don't put the fans through it. Remember when we were talking about this whole salary thing, going back to what they were and weren't going to pay and how many games they were going to play during COVID? And Rob Manfred was adamant about playing all these games and this and that. And then in the end, it slipped. And he said, yeah, we were only going to play 20 games to begin with. And people are like, what? Why do we go through all this? And he major faux pas on his part. So hopefully he's kind of learned from that. Let's do this. We'll come back, talk a little more baseball, a little more trade deadline chatter when we come back. Got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up. Stay tuned. Got a whole lot more happening. Our friends over there at Marquardt RV, they are the ones that are taking us out to Sturgis, South Dakota. They are the ones that supply the 2025 big unit cruiser, the beautiful Thor Motor Coach. They're beautiful. Stunning. But if you're looking for just something simple, a tow behind, if you're looking for used, whatever it happens to be, whatever it is you're looking for, they've got it, okay? They have all these different brands. They've got Heartland and Forest River and Jayco and Thor Motor Coaches, Tiffin Motorhomes, Winnebago, Keystone. I can go through all of them. But the one thing they pride themselves on, great service. Great service, whether it's you needing service or it's you needing education because you genuinely don't know all the aspects of RV life, or if you need accessories and accessories installed, our friends at Marquardt pride themselves on the service. Marquardt, M-A-R-K-Q-U-A-R-T, MarquardtRV.com. That is MarquardtRV.com. They have 7 or 8 locations in Wisconsin, and they've got a couple of them over in Minnesota as well. So you can go anywhere in the state and check it out. Marquardt, M-A-R-K-Q-U-A-R-T, MarquardtRV.com.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
For windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella Experience.
The biggest thing for us in the Experience Center was the collaboration with the team. We were able to come in and sit down and go over a bunch of different options. And it wasn't just us dictating what we wanted.
They asked us things we didn't even know or think about, from colors to hardware. And because of that, we were able to get the best possible look for our home.
Hi, I'm Gina Della from Pella. Just like Jim and Haley, you too can see, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of window and door options from 7 different Pella lines, side by side at our Pella Experience Center in Brookfield. And today is a great day to stop by because right now you can get 0% interest for up to 5 years. The Pella Experience Center is on Blue Mountain Road, kitty corner to delicious cups. With a range of affordable options and products assembled in the USA, get the look you want at a price you can afford. Visit PellaWI.com today.
The roar of racing is back at Road America. IndyCar, Superbikes, Vintage. The 640 acres of land in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin will shake with the roar of engines. Get your tickets now and secure your spot. Camping sites and corporate hospitality space is available as well. Get your season pass, individual race tickets, and all the information at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com. Road America, America's national park of speed.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome in. Bill Michaels Show. Enjoying our Monday. Good Monday to you. Heck yeah, good Monday. Want to remind you, we're going to be live at the Wisconsin State Fair. Coming up this week, Wednesday Night Live is paused at the Bud Pavilion because of the State Fair, but we're still going to be there. We're going to be at the Bud Pavilion in the Goose Island Ale House as the Wisconsin State Fair gets underway. They don't come back with Wednesday Night Live until August 27th. That's when Boo the Band takes the stage, and then they've got a couple of appearances after the fact. But we're going to be out there starting on Thursday for all the fun and frivolity that the State Fair offers. I can't wait. Got to give me some brownies. I got to get some of the big State Fair brownies. Some of those have to go with me out to Sturgis, South Dakota. Going to take those and at least one corn dog, and I'll be happy. That's it. I'll be just giddy. Wednesday Night Live is back, and State Fair is back, and we're excited for it. So we hope to see you out there. Don't forget, Third Ward Beer Garden at Catalano Square open as well. And I saw down there on Friday night when we were coming back from German Fest, stopped by, and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful night down there. Had so much fun at German Fest. It was just a great time. We were down there for the opening ceremonies. They did such an incredible tribute to the armed forces, which was really neat. They had a band from Germany playing all the different armed forces theme songs, so to speak. And we had a great time. And then on our way back, we stopped at the Third Ward Beer Garden at Catalano Square, which was just packed with people and dogs and, local beverages. And it was a great time. So both places, absolutely fantastic. But Wednesday Night Live will be back August 27th. But in the meantime, enjoy the Wisconsin State Fair at the Bud Pavilion. They've got a great lineup coming up, and we're going to be there on Thursday and Friday. We are really, really, really looking forward to it. Big time. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You want to hit us up? We'll talk some more Brewers baseball coming up here in the next hour.
So we're going to go through that. Yeah, for those that have mentioned it, I did see that Deion Sanders had a tumor removed from his bladder, and now his doctors are saying he is cancer-free, which is a wonderful thing. But I know he had been, at least rumors had been out there about some things regarding his health and the fact that he had the surgery, and the doctors are saying, hey, we got it, and he should be good to go, which is really great news, no matter what you think of Deion. And he's a pretty good coach. But he proved me wrong going to Colorado and creating success. He turned it around in a year. Now we'll see what he does this year without some of his, star players that he brought with him. But Deion Sanders now cleared for everything, and more so for the remainder of his life, which is pretty good. Knock on wood that nothing comes back. But his doctors say he is free of cancer, which is fantastic. All right, we got another hour yet to go. Don't go anywhere. We got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up right after this.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, the Brewers will open a huge series at home tonight against the Cubs. The two teams are tied atop the NL Central as they meet for a 3-game series. It'll be the third series the teams have played this season, with the Cubs taking 3 of the 5 games. Milwaukee will send Jacob Mizrowski to the mound tonight. Going to be pitching for the first time in the rivalry. Veteran Brandon Woodruff had some words of advice for the rookie.
Look, it's the big leagues, man. It's tough as it is, but you have a little bit more focus. It's nothing really changes in terms of how you want to go about your business. It's just turn the focus up a little bit, because honestly, you're probably going to block a lot of the crowd out. I mean, once you get out there and get in the environment, it kind of just becomes get the pitch, go to the mitt, and just repeat that.
Mizrowski comes in 4-1 with a 2.45 ERA. The Cubs counter with Matthew Boyd, and he's 11-3 with a 2.20 ERA. It's going to be his first start against Milwaukee this season. He has not allowed a run in nearly a month. Again, it'll be the Brewers and Cubs tonight at American Family Field. First pitch is set for 6:40.
ABC of Wisconsin is the largest apprenticeship program in the state, with more than 2,000 active apprentices in 12 different skilled trades. In the ABC apprenticeship program, you earn while you learn on the job, get paid to go to class, and graduate with a job in your craft, but without the huge college debt. Explore 12 different construction trades in one spot at buildyourcareerwi.org, or just search online for ABC of Wisconsin.
Well, it was a big day for the Packers at training camp as offensive lineman Elton Jenkins was activated off the NFI and returned to practice on a limited basis. Jenkins had missed the first 4 practices with a back injury. He also reportedly looking for a new contract. Quay Walker also took part on a limited basis for a second straight day. And Wisconsin going to head to Platteville today to open up fall camp tomorrow. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil.
Welcome back. Final hour of the Bill Michaels Show. How we looking? Coming up shortly, Mike Clemens in Green Bay. And we'll chat with him about what the Pack has going on. Brewers back at it tonight. The Miz is on the hill, and it starts the big series. There's now, 8 games remaining between the Brewers and the Cubs. And this is where you can get some separation if you get a few wins. If you get a few wins, get some separation, start to kind of move yourself forward a little bit and really do a lot of self-help, if you will. So hopefully the Brewers get themselves off on the right foot tonight, get a win,
and then kind of go from there. Elton Jenkins coming off the non-football injury list today, so some good news there. The Brewers are looking possibly to make a move, depending on what you believe or who they may be looking at. I did have some questions, and this one's from Michael, and he's got a point here. He said, real quick, he said, what changed from your thoughts on the 11-game win streak to the 2-game losing streak? A pretty hot team in the Marlins? Durbin batting over 300 in the last month. Ortiz was pulled for a left-handed bat for a matchup. Ortiz was pulled a couple of times over the weekend, by the way. Come playoffs, these are the horses they've won with. I can see Yoho coming into the pen if Mears is out for a while. What changed? Nothing changed for me. I feel good. I feel good about the team. It's not like I don't feel good. But what we saw over the weekend was you had Siegler coming off the bench, needing a bat in a big moment, couldn't get it. What you saw was guys being removed for matchups. Twice, Ortiz, and it was stated in the broadcast. This isn't me. It was stated in the broadcast, like right now, he's not going to come up in a big situation. If you absolutely positively need a hit, there's not a lot of trust there. Tremendous fielder, tremendous, but there's not a lot of trust there. Durbin has been hitting good. But there's nothing to say you can't get better and add pop. If indeed they'd go, say, in the realm of Suarez. Now, who knows what they're going to do? I don't think that the likelihood of them going in that direction is going to happen, to be perfectly honest with you. As a matter of fact, neither does Vegas. The Brewers are the second to last team as far as the ability to go get Suarez. Right now, the Yankees are the favorite, followed by the Mariners, the Tigers, the Mets, the Dodgers, the Phillies, and then the Brewers, then the Cubs for the services of Eugenio Suarez. However, the Brewers have a deep farm system. Now, they don't want to part with a lot of those pieces, especially for a guy that's going to be a rental. But they do have a deep farm system. They probably have as much, if not more, than most for prospects down the road, if indeed they have to make that deal. It's just that if you get the Yankees and, say, the Tigers and the Mets and the Dodgers all involved in this, chances are they're just going to outbid each other anyway, and you're not going to end up in that realm, which is the reason you're 9-1 odds to get them as opposed to the Yankees being 2-1. But nothing's changed for me. You know, I know we get afraid of running the risk of screwing things up, but I don't think there is any doubt that if you are saying, hey, we're going for it and we're going to do everything we can, that's nothing but a good message inside the clubhouse. So I'm not worried about that, to be perfectly honest with you. 877-867-1670. What else do we have here for you? I want to stick with Brewers right now. Let's stick with the Brewers first. I'll get into the Packer stuff coming up. By the way, Michael says, kudos to Vaughn. How about a shout out to Andrew Vaughn in yesterday's Marlins Brewers tilt? In the bottom of the eighth, William Contreras got to first base on a fielder's choice. Blake Perkins replaced him as the runner. Yelich struck out, and then Vaughn came to bat with a 1-0 count, who took a swing to protect himself, in my opinion. Perkins then stole second. A bang play, went to review, and I was listening to it. And if Vaughn doesn't cover the runner, he said Perkins would have been thrown out. That's more of a veteran move. He said, it's my belief we just don't need to be see that cover-up swing for a runner these days. But you saw it out of Vaughn, and then Perkins scores on Vaughn's double to deep center field. That tied the game, and then you go from there. Absolutely. It was Durbin, by the way, who did not take the extra base when Vaughn Vaughn doubled, and then when the throw went home, I think he went into third. Durbin did not take the extra base on the throw to third, and if I'm not mistaken, maybe it was a different inning, but they even made a note of that during the play-by-play broadcast, saying, look, this is one of those running mistakes where you got to go to second on the throw to third. And the reason being is because you take yourself out of the double play situation, which is what they hit into at the very end of the inning. Right after that double play, and boom, the inning's over. Where had you actually been at second and third, it would have been just either one out, or on that ground ball, you would have scored the run. The play would have been at first, and you would have been out still with 2 outs and a runner at third with a run in, and you would have been leading the ball game. So it's little things like that. It's like hitting a cutoff man. You don't hit a cutoff man, suddenly the throw goes all the way to third or all the way to home, and the guy on first advances to second. It's basically handing them a base. It's little things like that. Absolutely. I agree with you. Bill, I know you were at German Fest, but the Alumni Home Run Derby was, to me, a blast to watch. Just watching all the career highlights from the participants was amazing and brought back a lot of fabulous memories. They played Billy Hall's Mother's Day walk-off with the pink bat, several of Ryan Braun's clutch homers, and, of course, Prince Fielder. Keon Broxton won it, and when he hit the last one and ran around the bases, they relived Prince Fielder's bowling pin celebration fan-damn-tabulous. That's our buddy Steve in Richfield. I did hear it was really good. Look, I did hear. Again, it was funny because my argument was I just don't want the guys that are inside the walls of the clubhouse to celebrate just having a ballpark open. But for the fans, I agree with you. It was really good. It was really good. Really, really good. It was pretty funny, though, that I had a lot of people texting me over the weekend about, oh, my God, they do this thing, the celebration for the stadium, and then they go out and lose 2 straight to a subpar team. And I'm like, I don't want to take credit for that. That's not something that I want to dip my toe into. All I want to say is for the length of the season, I still think this team has a lot of moxie and can win the division and find themselves deep in the postseason. Eric says, hey, Bill, if I remember right, listening to the radio games, the Marlins have beat us the last 6 series in Milwaukee, so I guess it's just our kryptonite right now. No different than a horrible Pirates team playing us tough. I have little concern, would still like to see this team get themselves a bat, though. That's just it. If you can add a bat and get better, why not?
Also, don't compare this Marlins team to some Pirates. This Marlins team is pretty good, and they've been really hot the last couple of weeks.
They have.
So, I mean, when you consider out of the break, they took 2 of 3 in Seattle. They dropped 2 of 3. They're 500 out of the break. Not playing great baseball.
Yeah.
Like I know the Marlins are not, this prestige franchise. They've been playing good recently. And yeah, it's frustrating to lose 2 or 3 at home going into the Cubs, but they're 500 out of the break, and now they're even in the division with Chicago. You take that every single day of the week. Absolutely.
Absolutely. What else do we have here? This is from Cubby Bob, who says, would you like to make a wager over the next 3 games? Cubby Bob, if it's $50 to a charity, I'll do that in a heartbeat. Cubby Bob, I'll take the Brewers to win 2 out of 3 against the Cubs this week. You want to go deeper into that? Who wins tonight? Who wins tonight? Brewers at home or the Cubs on the road? Who wins tonight? I'll take the Brewers at home. Miz is throwing. That place is going to be electric. Are they close to sold out, Grant? Did I hear that correctly? Like they're close to sold out for this contest?
Well, they were sold out most of the weekend, so I'd imagine that these games will be,
Yeah, I thought so, but I think they're close to sold out for all 3 of these games, but specifically tonight, I believe they are. So, yes, I'll take that. $50, yeah, to a charity of your choice or my choice. Heck yes. I win this thing, it's $50 to Big Unit Foundation. You win it, I'll throw out $50 to your whatever your charity is. Be happy to do it, no doubt. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. What else do we have? Yeah, we just talked about the Bryce Harper thing. Thank you very much, Matt. And yeah, right. We talked about the Guardians and Klaas leaving the team over the gambling probe. What else? Oh God, yes. Here's from Steve. Steve says they had sold 85,000 tickets. What do you think of this Speedway Classic between the Reds and the Braves at Bristol Motor Speedway unit? I think it's another hokey thing. And Stu, I hate it. I do find it funny though that they will have sold 85,000 tickets to Bristol when they can't sell it out for NASCAR. And in addition to that, speaking of that, did you see NASCAR yesterday racing in the Brickyard 400? There was nobody there. It's pathetic. It's when you look at the Indy 500, which is packed. Now, granted, it's the granddaddy of them all. I get it when it comes to, the IndyCar series. And it's in comparison to what they do at Daytona. But even Daytona wasn't packed. How far has NASCAR fallen? I see more people filling the stands at Slinger and some of the local speedways, the Dells, La Crosse, all these motor speedways here, than I do going to NASCAR. How far has NASCAR fallen? That was sad. That was almost embarrassing. I was flipping through yesterday. I'm like, this is bad. And I just kept scrolling. But that's probably the reason I kept scrolling, because it's just like, it's bad. It was boring to listen to. As far as the commentators go, there's nothing to it. So anyway, You got it coming up Saturday night's nationally televised game will be the first for Major League Baseball ever played in Tennessee at Bristol Motor Speedway. So there you go. 85,000? The record for a baseball game is 84,587, which was September 12th, 1954, for a doubleheader at Cleveland Stadium between the Indians and the Yankees. So there you go. It's kind of hokey, but okay. I just think it's kind of a goof going into a motor speedway. It's like, why? I get wanting to do it in Tennessee because there's an interest, but don't we have the Nashville Sounds? Aren't the Brewers there? That's their AAA affiliate. A lot of players right there on the cusp of making it to Major League Baseball, But yeah, the first big league game ever played in Tennessee, and it's going to be at Bristol Motor Speedway coming up on Saturday night. You're like an eye roll. Okay. Oh, my goodness. Let's do this. We got Mike Clemens coming in when we come back, and we're going to talk to Mike about a lot of different stuff. So stay tuned. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Our great friends at Suburban Harley-Davidson. Don't forget tomorrow night's bike night. Tomorrow night bike night out at Wayne's Drive-In. Should be pretty good weather, too. I think it's going to be still kind of hot, but the weather is about to break. We're about to be like high in the mid-70s at the end of the week for the Wisconsin State Fair. It should be gorgeous. But tomorrow night, going to be heading out to Wayne's and Drive-In, Main Street in Thiensville. Go to suburbanharley.com. If you're looking for a ride, maybe you want to head to Sturgis this week and get ready to go for all your accessories, whatever your motor needs are. Check out suburbanharley.com. That is suburbanharley.com. Call them direct, 262-242-2464. Ask for Todd. Todd's the guy. He's a main man out there. 262-242-2464. I'll see you in Sturgis, and then we'll see you back here. Get your bike all ready to go. And if you don't have one, go get one and get ready for August 31st for the 18th annual Big Unit Poker Run. And it is going to be presented by Potawatomi, also Suburban Harley-Davidson in Thiensville. We cannot wait to have you ride with us and do something great for our military members, our veterans, and their families. We are just so looking forward to it. Again, go to suburbanharley.com.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket, this is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Looking forward to, speaking of 500 miles or more, looking forward to heading out to Sturgis, South Dakota on Friday. The show is going to be live out there next week, Monday and Tuesday. And we're heading out. Our friends from Smoke on the Water are going to be with us. As a matter of fact, they're the first stop on this year's motorcycle ride. Smoke on the Water, baby, on Okachi Lake. We're looking forward to it. Joe and Ellen Hennis, they got something good going out there, and it's just been a boon for them. They've just been, since they renovated that place and took it over, it's been fantastic. Smoke on the Water on Okachi Lake, and the other place that they have, Sloppy Joe's, a good old-fashioned Wisconsin bar restaurant right here in the state of Wisconsin on Hubertus, in Hubertus. That's where you can find them, just east of Holy Hill. Sloppy Joe's Saloon and Spoon and Smoke on the Water, two fantastic places. All right, let's do this. Let's go back to Green Bay. We got him live. Our guy, Mike Clemens, joining us on the hotline. Michael, what you got going, man?
Well, I know a center kind of holdout or hold in is not like the biggest news in the NFL. That's for quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs, maybe edge rushers and those kinds of things. But if your Green Bay Packers are serious about trying to get to a Super Bowl, it starts with your offensive line, and it starts with this concept of moving on from Josh Myers and moving Elton Jenkins over from left guard, and then paying Aaron Banks from the 49ers $77 million, or paying $30.2 million guaranteed to your right tackle to Zach Tom, and Elton Jenkins is like, what's up with that? So we just got a chance to talk to him. Now, you know, he has been inside the Hudson Center. He reported to camp on time. Then you see him doing some stuff, you know, some back therapy. And then you see some people on the internet saying, oh, you know, this is, yeah, his back. And they put that in air quotes. And I'm like, if the guy is trying to get more money out of these people, if he's trying to increase that deal he signed 2 years ago at $68 million overall, why would he want to fake a back injury? I don't understand that ploy.
Exactly.
I don't understand that ploy. So whatever the case, today he walked on the field and he had on his jersey and he was carrying a helmet. Now he didn't, maybe a couple of individual drills, but it's like, well, wait a minute. What's going on? How do you do this if you don't have your deal signed or a change? And then I was the first in the locker room, and I went to, you know, Tom Fanning for the PR staff, and he pointed back over there, and Elton waved us over. So, because you see, we don't talk to injured players or, you know, players that chose not to come to OTAs and those kinds of things. So Elton Jenkins says, and let me take it from the top, and I'm telling you, I feel good about our reporting because it's all in place. They have that game against the Eagles. And that linebacker takes this cheap shot, and it was a cheap shot. And, you know, Vic Fangio had those guys hitting dudes after the whistle or after the play. And so, you know, the Packers had a running play off to the right-hand side. He's at left guard. He's just kind of jogging to sort of follow up. The play is over for him. The action is downfield. And all of a sudden, this guy drills him in his shoulder. Yeah, it was a bad stinger. And, yeah, like I said after the game on your post-game show, Elton Jenkins' arm was so dead, he had to have his teammates help him get his jersey off. He'll tell you in this interview that we just did with him that, yeah, it would have been a week or two. I'm not sure if he would have been ready for the next week games. It was that bad. It was that tough of a hit. And that happened a half dozen times. You know, I just think Vic Fangio told those guys, it's the playoffs now. Hit somebody on every play. I don't care if you're out of the play. Hit somebody. They're not going to call it. So he recovers from that. In the exit interviews, they bring up this topic, how do you feel about center? Now, he thought, you know, to extend his career in the NFL, maybe, you know, when I get 31, 32, I could get to center and you know, get 4 or 5 more years of NFL checks, right? But not this year.
Right.
Well, then they called him back again, and they brought up that, okay, Josh Myers has moved on. So how do you think? So he agreed to it. But then the Aaron Banks thing happened. So essentially now, Elton Jenkins is saying, we've changed our mind. I'm just back here. I'm going to do some football. I needed some time away because of some family changes, some major family changes this spring. Now, that's all he said. That's all we have to say. I just will submit this. Do you remember an arrest outside of a Atlanta area nightclub this spring?
Yep. I do remember
There's a bunch of guys. They were going to this club. They had to pay a high price, gentleman's club. They get inside, and the place is dead. It's like on a weeknight. And they're like, well, this is a joke.
Right.
They said, wait, why are you charging all this money? And they went back to the, to the booth, to the front door and said, we want our money back. There's no party going on in here. A dispute started. They got kind of loud and all that. Cops showed up. People got, and then TMZ Sports covered this. One of those dudes was Elton Jenkins from your Green Bay Packers.
Who really didn't do anything. His name was just there because he was from the Packers.
He got loud. He got out of hand, and people freaked out like, this big dude, we're not going to wait to find out if he starts getting any more physical. But he wasn't going to leave until he got his money back, according to the police report and what TMZ Sports. I'm just saying that's it. So Elton says, I've had some family situations going on. I need to get back and take care of those situations. But he is now back on the field. He's going to be putting on shoulder pads tomorrow. So the center is back. And in terms of money, whatever. He's just here to be the center of the Green Bay Packers. And that's what's transpired in the last 5-6 months.
Did he talk about the contract?
Not really. He was, you'll hear in the interview, he was asked directly, well, what did your agent say when they're moving to his center? What did your agent say when, Aaron Banks gets $77 million? Right. And he kind of shrugged that off. I think they've just come to a point where the team's not going to give him a deal right away. Plus, he's got this back injury, which when did that happen? During OTAs, weightlifting. So he's had a sore back, which probably killed any chance of talks at the same time. So now that the back is good enough where he feels he can get back on the field and he wants to help out this team, I just think he's tabled it and said, you know what, let's just get back to work. Let's get going. Okay, let's not make this ploy. And maybe I can still have my plan of having a long-term deal playing center here in Green Bay. So there was that. We had our first practice in pads today. And oh, my God, Bill. I mean, there's 90 guys on this roster. Guess who got hurt?
Marshawn Lloyd.
How did you know? I mean, it's like the third play from scrimmage, Bill. And 32, he's, I formation lines up, and, Jordan hands off the ball to him. He cuts off to his left. He gets outside of Rasheed Walker, left tackle. There's two dudes there. I couldn't tell because it was the opposite side of the field, but likely, an edge guy and a linebacker. And they hit him, and his knees buckled like an old-time boxer. Like down goes Lloyd. I mean, he went down. He was on all fours. The guys, raced around him. I didn't know if it was the wind or a head injury. Then the trainers come out. He was done. He's been done for the rest of the day, shaken up on that one play. But it's just disappointing for him because it's just one thing after another. And the first day on pads, he gets that. I try for you to kind of spot guys that are either cutting out those undrafted guys or whatever. I'm the guy that told you about Tremont Williams. I'm the guy that told you about, Malik Taylor, when Jake Kumaro thought he was going to make the team. And I'm the guy who told you about 4 years ago. I tweeted out, I said, I know it's the only second day of practice in pads, but I really like this offensive tackle and his footwork. And that's a guy that they just signed for a huge contract, Zach Tom. There's a kid named Sam Brown Jr. out of Miami. He's wearing number 17. He's catching everything left and right in the drills. And then today he caught a big pass in the sidelines in coverage. He's got good hands. So that's what's going on so far here at your training camp.
When, Mike, we go back to Marshawn Lloyd. Now, did he walk off or was he like gasp? Was it just where he got the wind knocked out of him? Or, was there any word after practice to say, hey, this is what happened?
No, there's no word. They won't tell us till tomorrow. From 50 yards away, the man got his bell rung and was just on the sidelines, helmet off, staring at the field for the rest of the thing. I mean, he got his bell rung.
So he was standing there, at least on a very hot day, a guy that could have possibly had a concussion. They didn't take him into the cooler air to be able to take him out of the light and all that kind of stuff. So at least he was just standing there.
The accurate point is this. They want to see this kid.
Right.
And he was there for 3 plays today.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Mike, I know they were real high on him, and I don't want to use the term injury prone because that's being tossed around. But last year, one of the things that happened to him was he finally came back and was ready to go when he had the appendicitis. This wasn't like
appendicitis.
It was the appendicitis.
We talked to him just the other day. Bright kid, excited, finally feels healthy, ready to go, yada, yada, yada. You're going to put on the pads. I'll tell you what, he's the smallest person on the field.
Yeah.
He's small.
It's going to be great to see Elton Jenkins back full time, and hopefully the back injury isn't any kind of thing that's going to nag him this season. And I know they're excited about the offensive line. I did a national show over the weekend, and all the questions are about all the position players and Matthew Golden and yada, yada. And I keep saying to everybody, it doesn't mean anything if you don't see that progression out of Jordan Love. And I know he's got it in him because we've seen it. So you tell me, and again, today was in pads for the first time, but how has he looked in this camp?
The deep passes are pretty amazing. Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And I've talked about 22. I've talked about Matthew Golden, who Rich Bisaccia says reminds of the Bullet, Bob Hayes.
Yeah.
Number 22 during the Tom Landry, Don Meredith days, Ice Bowl days of the Cowboys in the 60s. Who, remember, if you were a 5-year-old kid in the late 60s, and on the collector's card, he was the fastest human in the world because of his track, exploits that they booked him as down in Dallas. So Matthew looks great. And they keep on, again, they keep trying to find ways to feed him the ball, whether it's a little pass out of the backfield or a little slant over the middle, because he's really dangerous. They got him back there with 6 other guys returning punts, and I'll talk about that more in my next report because I wrote down all the numbers are back there. But Mecole Hardman, number 6, the former Chief and Jets, again catching deep passes today. So that part is pretty impressive from Jordan Love. You know what? Jordan Love threw one out of bounds yesterday, and over 20 years of training camp, for some reason I've never seen this happen. But he just safely okay, I'm not going to throw it on the ground. I'm not going to throw a pick. I'm not going to run to the sidelines. I'll just throw it away. So he heaved it over everybody's heads on the sideline, and it hit the wall. Oh, my God. To the point where it hit the wall so hard, he may have ruined the football. But, those cement walls on the backside of the Hudson Center with the, kind of the concrete scratched up. And I thought, you know what? I got to start asking these receivers. Maybe Dobbs is the only guy left. Who throws a bigger fastball, Aaron Rodgers or Jordan Love? Because that thing was smoking.
Real quick before I let you go, Mike, I also want to ask you about Isaiah Simmons. This is the guy they picked up from the Giants in the offseason. Everybody said that this could be one of the diamonds in the rough, that very quiet signing. And I've heard a lot of good things, but you tell me, eyes on him, Isaiah Simmons.
Xavier McKinney endorsed him because they were teammates together at the Giants. So that's the start. Right now I'm just looking at drills. And today was the first day in pads. So, I can't judge from that. I will tell you the thing that's impressive about Simmons is he is all business. There's no goofing around.
Yeah.
And I got a lot to learn. Hey, he's very anti-hype, which is probably right where you want a veteran.
Yeah.
I mean, he's very upfront and honest about that. So, and you're impressed by that because you say, well, this is a guy that's going to dig.
Right.
This is a guy that wants to learn the defense. I don't think he'll be a problem, but one of the reasons he came to Green Bay is because they kept on moving around in New York. Like, this week you're going to do this and next week you're going to do that. And he said, you can't get good at anything.
Right.
And that was one of the things that I made firm with them is what is my role going to be? Okay. And can we stick to that? So that I can really work and excel at that. And that seems to be the pact that Jeff Hafley has with him, at least for now. So even though he has this reputation of, he's played a little safety, he's played a little nickel, and all that, he doesn't want that. Make up your mind and give me 1 or 2 assignments and the situations you want me in, and that way I can perform my best. We'll see how that plays out.
Mike, great stuff as always. Look forward to hearing Elton Jenkins talk coming up in the next segment, and appreciate it. We'll talk again soon, okay?
You bet, Bill.
All right, buddy. Talk to you soon. There you go. Mike Clemens joining us as he just came out of the locker room from talking with Elton Jenkins, and you are going to hear from Elton Jenkins when we come back. The Packers' new center returning to the practice field, coming off of the non-football injury list today, and you are going to hear that conversation when we return. Don't go anywhere. You're going to want to hear Elton Jenkins speak for the first time and kind of telling people what happened regarding the back and where he's at right now mentally. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at Stenny, second to National Walker's Point, also on Watertown Road in Pewaukee. And if you're looking to go to the game tonight, see the Cubs and the Crew down at American Family Field. They are running shuttles. Stop out there, get yourself one of their award-winning Bloody Marys, maybe some great wings, the Bill Michaels garlic cheese bread, whatever it is, get it. Jump on the bus, let them do the driving, drop you right off at the front door. That is Stenny. Second to National Walker's Point, Watertown Road in Pewaukee, or just go there and watch the game. Hang out. The one in Pewaukee in Lake Country, that's got a 25-foot big screen right above the bar. It's huge. It's like watching it in a theater. It's fantastic. Check out Stenny's, both places, as they say, you should be here.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The open road is calling, and the ride begins at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. This July, you could burn rubber on a custom Harley-Davidson in the Fire Up Your Fantasy motorcycle giveaway. Play with your rewards card all July for entries. Thursday drawings for extra cash and reward plays. Fire Up Your Fantasy, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
For windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella Experience.
The biggest thing for us in the Experience Center was the collaboration with the team. We were able to come in and sit down and go over a bunch of different options. And it wasn't just us dictating what we wanted.
They asked us things we didn't even know or think about, from colors to hardware. And because of that, we were able to get the best possible look for our home.
Hi, I'm Gina Della from Pella. Just like Jim and Haley, you too can see, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of window and door options from 7 different Pella lines, side by side at our Pella Experience Center in Brookfield. And today is a great day to stop by because right now you can get 0% interest for up to 5 years. The Pella Experience Center is on Blue Mountain Road, kitty corner to delicious cups. With a range of affordable options and products assembled in the USA, get the look you want at a price you can afford. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
What a weekend it was. We had a great time at German Fest this past Friday night, getting down to the lakefront. And we want to say thanks to German Fest for being a part of our motorcycle ride. They stuck some money back in the community. And they said, hey, we want to help out. We're going to offset some of the costs for the police department, making sure that all the riders are safe this year and helping us cover the cost of bringing in the motorcade that is going to take us on the first leg of the route on the motorcycle ride coming up on Sunday, August 31st. And it's all thanks to our friends at German Fest. German Fest was a success this year. For all the information for 2026, go to GermanFest.com. That is GermanFest.com. Really, really fun stuff. Let's do this. We'll take a listen. Just a little while ago, you just heard him on the air with us, that Mike Clemens had a chance to catch up with Elton Jenkins. And Elton Jenkins then went in the locker room afterwards and spoke to the media. Here you go. Packers center, Elton Jenkins.
I feel good, man. You know, out there to run around, go individuals, just been out there with the guys.
How do you feel about switching to center?
I feel good. You know, whatever, you know, they're going to help us, help the team win, and get us over that hump.
Alan, you know what the business side is. Is there any reservations there? Moving to left guard, you're paid well as you should have been to moving to center that historically isn't paid the same on the market?
No. Right now, I'm just focused on the season going forward, just being able to perform for the team, and just getting our line right, offense right, and so we can be better this year than we was last year.
Have they given you any assurances that they will take care of you at some point financially?
Right now, I'm not even thinking about that. It's more so just what I can do to help the team, and just being present. You know what I'm saying? Getting good with the offensive line, building chemistry with the quarterbacks and the offensive line.
But you were thinking about that at one time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that part of why you stayed now?
Nah, honestly, I'm having changes in my family right now, so I want to spend more time with them, and so happened that came up, and so it was just like, it was better for me to spend time with my family this offseason.
So when you did think about the financial part of it in the offseason, did Bilbo talk to these guys at all, and did he get any? I know he talked to them, but did he get any? Did he get any feel for how it might shake out, like at all?
I mean, they had a conversation, and obviously the conversation was going on for a long period of time. But right now, it's just, where we at right now, focusing on being the best player I can be. Been playing this game for 20-some years, 7 years in the league. I'm very confident in my ability and what I can do. So the financial side, I know that's going to come. Right now, it's just how can we build chemistry within the O-line to get better, and as an offense.
One last question on the financial side. Do you expect any changes to your contract before this season or at some point?
Nah, I don't. Like I said, right now, it's just being the best player I can be, being the best teammate. But like I say, man, I know what I'm gonna do this season. I know I'm confident in my ability, very confident. So just going out there, just playing ball, keep doing what I've been doing, and they're gonna take care of itself.
As far as the football side goes, what's it like going back to center? Is it just like riding a bike again, knocking the rust off? Or it's been a while, but you've done it at a high level.
Yeah, it's definitely some rust that have to be knocked off. I'm about to get the ins and outs of things, but I mean, I played it in college, got drafted here as a center, so it's not going to be anything different. I played it last year, played it a couple games, early in my career, so it's not going to be nothing crazy, and I feel like I'll be a great center in this league.
What does that do for you, though, Elton, when you actually are repping it, every day, every practice? Because, I mean, you did really well with it in the spot situations to actually be, doing it day in and day out now.
Just building that chemistry, get my technique right. I feel like when I was doing it, spot, like just before the game or during the game or like a couple of days, before the game, now I can get those reps and I can really freshen up on my technique. And just knowing the situations and stuff like that and what positions I need to be in. So I think it's going to help me out a lot, getting back into the count slowly and just getting those reps.
What did happen with the back? Was that just something that came up in the offseason?
Oh, well, yeah, I was lifting weights and, hurt it. And I wanted to just be careful. I didn't want to rush myself back. Even in mandatory mini count, I had did it early on in OTAs, but, early on in the offseason. But it was something I didn't want to rush, I just wanted to let it heal, get the proper treatment and stuff like that so I can come back full speed.
How did it feel practicing today?
It felt good.
The playoff game in Philly, how bad was that?
It was real bad. I couldn't like lift my shoulder up, felt it going throughout my neck and stuff like that. So they made a good decision, just to let me chill just in case anything else. So it won't be hard, it wouldn't be like tougher to come back from than what it was. So, but it was bad though.
I saw your teammates helping you get your jersey.
Yeah, it was hard to like my whole arm was like numb. It was hard to lift it up.
How long do you think it would have been before you had another game?
I definitely would have tried to play, honestly, but I can't tell you. You feel me? But it was hurt. It was hurting for like a week or two after the game.
And then when you got back home, did they talk to you right away about the center?
There was a conversation we had. I had met with the gym. It was a conversation that we had. They asked me, did I want to move? I was like, yeah, I'll move. And we had an out before.
You understood why?
Huh?
You understood why?
Understood why what?
Why they wanted to move you to center.
Oh, yeah, I understood. Like, I did say later in my career, I did want to move. And they asked me, and I was like, yeah. And then they gave me some time to think on it. And I talked to them again, and I told them I'll do it.
Was that in your exit meeting before you left town?
Yeah.
Why did you want to move? Why were you because you I wanted to move later in my career. Why is that?
Because I know we got a lot of guys that obviously we had a first rounder, trying to find a position for him to play. Then just better in the O-line. Trying to see what they're going to bring Josh back. They didn't bring him back. And after that, they called me and they asked me, to confirm it. And I said, yeah.
So you've been a two-time Pro Bowler at left guard. What do you think you can be at center?
I feel like the sky's the limit, honestly. I can be an all-pro, Pro Bowl, same guy. Probably even better, honestly. But we're just going to see.
Marshawn Lloyd was telling us when he got back to practices, just nice to be tired again, nice to be back out there. You said it felt good to be back out there. What was your favorite part about being out there with the guys?
Really just being out there with the guys was my favorite part. Having the pads on, obviously this is my first day, so we wrapping it up. But just being out there, just being able to have fun, smile with them, go through the plays and stuff like that. But it feels good to play football, so I enjoy it.
How different do you expect this camp to be now that you are back with Jordan, getting the process with the center snap exchange down? It's obviously things involved at your position that you didn't have to do with that left guard.
Yeah, I've been here 7 years running the same, most of the same plays and stuff like that. Obviously, we got more plays now, but and last year I was kind of a guy. If Josh, if it was a away game and calls need to be made, I was that guy that made the calls for Josh or do this and do that. So I don't think it's going to be. Only thing is probably going to be different than me snapping the ball and blocking somebody, but I did that before as well.
When you were given your time to think about the position change this spring, what was that process like for you? What kind of things did you consider and think about?
Honestly, when he asked me the first time, and I was like, let me think on it. I thought about it for a little while, and he called again, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it. But I don't really just take. I just let just go with life, let it flow, honestly. But I don't feel like I just thought about it a lot. It was just more. He called, asked, I was like, yeah, I'll do it, and go from there.
So just to clarify, what was you eventually wanting to move to center something you had mentioned in past years, or you only mentioned it at this exit meeting when they brought it up?
I had mentioned it, I think, last year.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Going back to the stinger, what happened on that play?
I pulled, and his helmet hit my shoulder, and it just went on. Yeah.
That was like the fourth play of the game or something like that. I can't imagine what it was like going off in a playoff game.
Yeah, I
went through your mind.
I went in the tent trying to see was I going to be cool, was I going to be all right. Obviously the trainer was like, they don't think so, and they were like, they gave me a little bit to see what it's going to wear off. It didn't wear off, and they called it.
How many good years do you think you have left? And I ask that because you're going to turn 30, and this franchise obviously doesn't have a whole lot of 30-year-olds. How many more years do you think you got to play your level of football?
I'm going on 7 right now, so probably like 5, about 5, 6 more.
Is the organization express any about the age thing? Have they mentioned it at all to you that they care that's sort of a potential roadblock at all?
No, they didn't. Right now, I'm just focused on, like I said, if I want to play, I feel like I'm the type of guy. If I want to play on 34, 35, I can do that. But right now, I'm just focusing on, the position at hand and the year that's coming up.
What was your agent's reaction when you were moving to center? What did he think?
They don't even matter, to be honest. But I told him after a while, but he was cool with it. It's my decision. So
there's a financial component to moving to center. You're probably aware of that, right?
Yeah.
Does it matter at all that tackles make more than guards and guards make more than centers?
No, they don't. Honestly, I'm blessed. Was able to come in the league, make a lot of money. I feel like I still got a lot of more years ahead of me. I feel like the financial part is gonna work itself out just by my play.
In theory, sliding you to center, bringing in Banks, that is a move to make this line better. Do you see the vision there, and do you feel like this will be a better line with the 5 up front?
Yeah, I definitely feel like we got obviously being here with the other 3 guys, and then bringing Banks in, the type of player he is, Marlon in the run game, good in pass protection. It definitely helped us out.
Your only game at center last year, was that the Lions game?
Yeah.
Are you happy, hopefully, to not have games that are that weather miserable?
Yeah, it was last year. The Lions game, it was a tough one. I should have prepared better, honestly, by snapping the ball in practice, like with the ball wet. But now we got those opportunities. Now me knowing that I'm gonna play center, if I feel like if they ever come up, I'll definitely be prepared.
Have you taken snaps this offseason at all on the side with Jordan? Have you had a snap exchange with him yet?
No, I think today was our first one. Yeah, today was our first one.
There you go. That's Elton Jenkins, who is back and off the non-football injury list. Talks about the injury that he sustained in the game against the Eagles and the fact that he is happy and he's ready to go. Doesn't have the contract that maybe he was looking for, but he's happy and he's ready to go. We'll step out. More of the Bill Michaels Show. We'll wrap it up. Coming up next.
Ready? This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back in. The Michael Show. Wrapping things up. You got the Brewers tonight taking on the Cubs. 6:40 first pitch. The Miz is on the hill. Taking on Boyd. Boyd 11-3 with a 2.20 ERA. The ace is staff for the Cubs. Mizorowski 4-1 with a 2.45 ERA. And don't forget, they've got him kind of on the innings/load management right now. So we'll see what he ends up doing tonight in a rivalry game. His first taste of it against the guys from I-94 South in the Chicago Cubs. Elsewhere, you got Cincinnati hosting the Dodgers coming up a little bit later on tonight. You also have St. Louis there facing the Marlins, who just won 2 out of 3 against the Crew, and the Pirates are on the road in San Francisco. That's the way the rest of the National League Central
kind of shapes up. And that's kind of it. I mean, I'm excited for tonight. I'm excited for, I got some errands to run. I'm going to go out, do everything I got to do, and then get back home so I can watch this game maybe from the patio tonight. I'm looking forward to it and excited all about that. Is there anything else that we have missed today, Grant? I don't think we have.
I think the show was just about perfect before Mike Clemens got that exclusive or got that audio to us within like 10 or 15 minutes after talking with Elton Jenkins, because that was the biggest story coming into camp, and we had kind of moved on to talk about other things. So it was really nice to get some answers to questions that I think we were all thinking about.
Yeah, Elton Jenkins back off the non-football injury list, and it seems like he is ready to go and happy. So we're excited to see Elton Jenkins back taking snaps at center, and we'll see how that progresses throughout the rest of camp. And if indeed, because he talked about how his age, and he still wants to get another contract and play for 3, 4, 5 more years, and so we'll see if that actually plays out. But Elton Jenkins back at Packers camp today. Marshawn Lloyd goes down. He gets drilled and was a little bit woozy, shaken up. I don't know if it's a concussion or what it is. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But he ended up, after the third play from scrimmage, ended up watching the rest of practice today and Packers camp today. So that's piece of news. The other national piece of news that's really kind of all over the place is Bryce Harper telling Rob Manfred after the State of the Finances address inside the Phillies clubhouse to get the F out, and going nose to nose with him, kind of threatening him, so to speak. So we'll see how that ends up playing out eventually down the road. But that's going to do it. Get ready for tonight, my friends. The I-94 rivalry is back. Where's it at? For those watching, the I-94 rivalry is back. Cubs, Brewers, great stuff. Time for us to go. Have a good one.